Come on.
It's there.
There we go. Now, a bit of behind-the-scenes trivia there, Nige. I started the clock off. I think the clock went well. I just don't think I had the... I'm going to have to work on this whole marrying this up with going the live thing, because you go live and then you've got to press another one to go live. Anyway, we are live now.
We're going now.
We are. We're going. So, as you can see, this is the first one in our series of video nasties, talking about video nasties. And me and Nige have been talking about doing this for quite a bit of time. About 6 weeks, I would say.
Possibly a bit longer, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been trying to work this out and going behind the scenes and making sure we've got the time to do this. And it's going to be, this first part is going to be like an introduction. The introduction is going to be basically what we're planning to do in the future. We've got a few ideas, but we could do with some ideas in the comments. We could get some ideas from anybody in the comments that would like to give us some pathway in which want us to travel. Obviously, we'll look into section 1, section 2, section 3. We'll go into all of them ones. And this introduction will be followed by section 1. That's when we'll go into it in earnest. But at this part, we're going to kind of just introduce what we've got planned, the thoughts we've got planned, and we're going to talk a little bit about the whole behind the scenes of the video nasty thing, our experiences are, because we're the same age, which is great. And I think we've got similar, ideas of what it was all about back in the day, in them heady days of '83 when it all went crazy. And, but anyway, so my co-host here, Nige, Rockgod2004. Yes, we have just, so I'd like to take this opportunity for Nige just to introduce himself and tell everybody who you are.
You've just introduced me. Who am I?
Who are you? Well, you're Nige.
I'm the Rock God, yes.
You're the Rock God. And the thing is that the thing that drew us to this chat, of course, is the video nasties. And we talked probably over the comments. And then after the times we talked offline, we really knew that we were on the same page with the video nasties.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. And do you think that, looking back on it, way back in the day, what was your would you say, what was the first time when you became aware that the video nasties was a thing?
I think probably pretty much from the get-go, because I remember the first one that I actually watched as a video nasty was The Burning.
Yeah.
I saw The Burning on Friday the 13th, part 2 on the same day. But before that, I wouldn't go anywhere near horror, because I used to love horror as a kid. It was, when they used to have the double bills on the Saturday night, you'd get like an old Universal
and a Hammer movie.
And a Hammer, yeah. So it was those old Universals. I was looking for the box up there because I've been watching them. It was the old Universals and the Hammer, but the Hammer always scared me because I was only about 7 or 8.
Yeah, I know.
And then when video come out, I didn't want to watch them at first, but my dad got The Burning out and I watched it, and I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't long after that they started getting banned, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" It was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it was like one of those things that when it came along, it was so fast, wasn't it? It wasn't as if you had to think about it before you knew it. You thought, "Hang on a minute." Just the other week, I went to the video shop and I was able to get out a few things, or even know about these few things, and they were just all gone, weren't they?
Yeah, gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went for. It took me a while because I was the slightest thing to knock me sick. I saw Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
And I was like, it knocked me sick as a pig.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre did. First time around, because of when he gets hit and he convulses the legs. I was like, doesn't get me like that now, but at the time it did.
Yeah.
So I did, but I didn't get to see stuff like Driller Killer and some of the other sort of more notorious ones until a bit later on. And when I did some of them, I was like, yeah, I get why that was banned, but some of them, well, you know yourself, they're an absolute joke. Some of them, they're so bad that they're good.
Yeah. You can't believe that anybody would think that some of it was, the way they put it, as if it was going to be the most horrific thing you could see. And sometimes you think there's nothing bad about that. I've seen worse on TV, but I think when you were actively seeking out these movies that had the sensationalist title, like The Driller Killer, you had this thing in your mind when you saw the cover as well, that you thought this must be wild. It's not really. It's a decent movie, but it's not what you would think it is. I think
the image on the cover is probably the worst thing about it.
Yeah. Do you think that was probably the cover that made the people like Mary Whitehouse think, right, that's it, I'm going for these lot?
It was. It definitely was. I think there was 2 or 3 were the main ones that went for originally.
Yeah.
Driller Killer, Cannibal Holocaust, and I think I Spit on Your Grave. They were the main 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just for starters.
Yeah, and once it gathered momentum, and it would seem like they're picking we were just talking before the stream that you'd be surprised at some of the ones that are actually on the list. They've got literally nothing in it. And you struggle, you wonder how on earth they could have even made the list.
And some of them have even now been re-released uncut and are a certificate 15.
Yeah, there's that.
Just goes to show how times have changed.
Well, it does. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad about that, because we couldn't imagine living in them times now. I'm glad we moved on from that, because, to be honest, I think it was. I'm glad in a way. I'm not saying I'm glad it happened, but it was quite interesting that it happened, and we've lived through that. And I think some people might not understand that today, in this age where you can literally get anything you want if you want it, or import it, with probably everything's uncut. But back in the day, it was at that point it was so hard to even get your hands on anything that was, like in that, like say you were trying to hunt out like the Driller Killer, and you just couldn't find it anyway. You have to go to somebody who you knew who had a copy, which was awful, and it would get passed around with your mates, and then you would say that's another one to take off the list that you'd seen of all these notary. I can't even say it.
Notoriety.
That's the one. See, I knew you had to be on here for some reason, Nige. I don't know. I can't speak properly.
The thing is, it actually went well into the 90s, this.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, it's not there now, so it doesn't matter. But where I used to live, there used to be a little, just a little video rental shop. And it was like when everything was 15, 18, but it was like early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
And I remember the bloke admitting that he had a dodgy copy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which just didn't get a release over here to start with.
No, you're right.
And it was really, I ended up borrowing it off him, but he wasn't going to let me have it to begin with. He was scared I grassed him up. So I had to bribe him. I said, right, you lend me that and I'll lend you Last House on the Left, because he'd never seen it.
Yeah.
And when I took it home, I was like, Jesus, it was so bad, the copy of it. And there was parts of it like, oh God, I said, that's not me sick. That's just warped that now. I love it now, but at the time. But I think that nasty graininess of a copy of a copy of a copy made it even worse anyway.
Yeah, I would say most of the ones, the really like big titles that I saw for the first time round, they were always on fifth generation copies, and you were lucky to see them. And you had to, I don't think you didn't really buy them as such. You just knew someone who had them, and you would sort of say here. And then you would have your little sort of like stash that you'd built up, and you just swap them around. It's like like bands used to swap cassettes with each other.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that when you just had a sort of network, because you had to. There was no other way of doing it. And to be honest, the way that it was kind of built up, it made you want to, these movies that maybe you might have wanted to have even looked at, you were actively seeking them all out, weren't you? There
was actually a lad on car boot sale at Sedgefield. He had a stall, and that is all he sold.
Really?
Which is where I got my Last House on the Left, and somebody grassed him up. He got done.
Well, the thing is, it was a thing you used to get called getting busted, didn't you? You used to know somebody, and then they would get in touch with you and say, I've been busted. I can't do it anymore. And I'll tell you someone who's been there, or the person I'm getting them off has been busted. So they can't get me stuff anymore. And me and John Hall, we used to have a concept. He's still around, actually. He still does stuff on eBay now. And you can get lots of stuff off him. But back in the day, he was the fella who you went to. And he was always avoiding getting busted, just, you know. But it was just what happened, wasn't it?
It was just, I mean, it was like some of them, if you were caught with them, you might as well have been caught with drugs.
Oh yeah,
it was quite scary because you thought, what if somebody comes to the house and sees that?
I know.
So
Yeah,
I was pretty regularly touching cloth.
Yes. No, I know it's one of them things where you would say if some, I don't know, say if like the census man was coming around to do the census, you would say, do they kind of know anything about these movies? Because you would automatically hide anything, wouldn't you? If anybody like official was coming around, not that you had the police knocking on your door, but you had them in the back of your mind to think that the people can't really see these things. They've got to be hidden out of the way because they were like contraband, really. They shouldn't have been, but they were kind of. You felt like that, didn't you? You felt guilty for having them.
I was just going to say, to clarify there, if anybody doesn't know, there was 3 sections of Video Nasties.
Yeah.
Section 1 was the one where you could actually go to prison or get a hefty fine or both if you were caught with them or distributing them.
Yeah.
Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. The guy who released that actually did time. He went to prison for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. And then the section 2, I think you could be fined, but I don't think you could be prosecuted. You couldn't go to jail or anything. And then section 3, you couldn't be fined or prosecuted, but a copper could go in and just like take it off the shelf.
Yeah, he had the right to seize it, didn't he? He had every right to say, that's on the list, I'm having it. And the people couldn't argue the toss, could they?
I think there's a lot of people as well who were like into the, I mean, God almighty, I don't know how to get them, but you get some people who collect the original VHS videos of them, and they were going into hundreds of pounds each.
Yeah.
So if you're a sort of the dog's creeping on me. If you're a true sort of nastiest, they'll only sort of treat section 1, which, as you know, it's only got 39 films on it, which is the ones that we'll sort of like be tackling first.
Well, that's it, and we can talk, and we can say that we can go down in the future episodes. We can talk about the fact of how easy or not easy it is to collect some of these titles, especially if you go down the VHS route, which is, it would be great to think you could do that at a sensible price to build up to 39 and have it like, you could have like a wall mountain of these 39 things, but you would think you would probably be talking easily about $5,000 plus to get that. And that's if you,
for the original tapes, you mean?
Yeah. And it's
easily.
And I mean, it's a nice thing to think of, and I'm sure some people have got that and done that, and hats off to them. But I'm thinking that at this point in my life, I'm quite happy with hopefully them getting released in the UK or in the US in a decent form, maybe in a 4K, getting treated to 4K these days, and that would do me. Are you sort of, would you ever seek out a VHS now, Nige? Or are you kind of
far too expensive?
Yeah, it's expensive.
I did used to have did I used to have some? I think I might have had a couple of them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I don't think it was any of this. Oh yes, it was. I had the Burning.
Well, yes, the Burning. That was.
But I don't think the one I had was uncut. I think mine was the one with the date stamped on.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think all the VHS I had went to a boot sale.
There's so much to talk about when you talk about this topic. That's why we've said that this is going to be like an introduction to it, to tell you what's possibly coming up or what people are going to talk about in the comments, and then we can move on from there, because there's many things to talk about. You can talk about the fact of the VHS, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, ones that are out of print, ones that you've got to pay astronomical amount for, even on DVD. You're getting stung with that. So
I used to have some on Laserdisc as well.
Yeah, and it's one of them things where you think it's not one that you can just go out and just, with a couple of £100 in your pocket buy the whole lot. It's not that simple, is it? I wish it was, but it's a lot easier than it used to be. It's still quite difficult.
It is, but there's still some that you just cannot get your mitts on.
Imagine if they bought out, they do these big box sets of things. Imagine if they bought a box set out of the 39, just in a box set. Imagine how amazing that would be.
I would, cream in my pants, probably, to be honest.
You just you'd sell people for that, wouldn't you? Just say, right,
Yeah.
you're going in this, yeah. Right. So what I'll do is I'll go through some comments now, and we'll get a sort of flavour of what's in the comments, because what we're going to try and do tonight is we're going to just focus on video nasties or thereabouts, and see what we've got coming up, and then just see how we'll go with that. You right with that, Nige?
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on. So first up, we've got Brian saying, hi all. Hi, Brian. All right, thanks for coming.
Hello.
Next is Andrew Green. Do you know Andrew Green?
Oh, yeah, that's my boy.
That's your son. And he says, go get them. What's your favourite soundtrack from the films? And I think we're talking about
from the video nasties.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what there is now. The Burning's a really, really good one. Rick Wakeman did that out of Yes. So that's like all synth and keyboards. That's a really good one. That's one of my favourite ones. I'm only thinking of section 1 at the minute.
Okay.
Because there's some of the other sections. I mean, like Friday the 13th was a section 3. I would have probably said that was my favourite of the lot.
Yeah.
But that was section 1. The Boogeyman's really good as well, actually.
Some good ones.
I would probably say then, out of the section 1 that I can think of at the minute, I'm going to go with The Burning, followed by Cannibal Ferox.
Cannibal Ferox. That's a funky one, mine, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I would say, you've just reminded us of something there. I would say, first of all, it's got to be Zombie Flesh Eaters. That would be mine. Section 1. It's just got that, it's like the quintessential, like Italian, keyboard synth 80s thing, which I love for that. But you've reminded us one about, and I'm going to say Cannibal Holocaust as well, because even though that's an awful movie,
that's another good one.
The theme tune's brilliant, and I'd like the sort of incidental music as well. It's quite foreboding as well. The middle music that you've got, that kind of like ding. It's really a little bit over. Well, it's got to be over the top, hasn't it?
I think the only reason I put Cannibal Ferox before Cannibal Holocaust is because Cannibal Ferox is more of like an upbeat. I mean, there's a bit of funk, there's a bit of disco, but then there's a bit of the keyboardy stuff as well.
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust, when I hear it, it just reminds me of the animal scenes and stuff, and it doesn't make me think of like good things. Whereas Cannibal Ferox, I can like bop away in the car and do a bit of the old John Travolta to it.
Do you think that
Cannibal Holocaust is a really, really good soundtrack, though?
Cannibal Holocaust, the opening theme tune is that nice.
Yeah.
The song, isn't it so weird to have that really nice bit of music on there for that movie? It always struck me as like so weird.
If you're going to watch it for the first time and you hear that, you're going to think, I think I've got the wrong thing here.
Yeah.
But you haven't. Don't let it fool you.
No. Maybe that's what it was intended to be. Wow. Next is Sinjin. Hey, John and Rockgod. Looking forward to this. And so are we.
Yes, so are we.
Yeah, thanks for coming along. And next up is Chickster777. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Chickster.
At noon.
Next, I'm doing this. I am blind, by the way, so I'm trying to really get this looking on there. All the stuff's blurred to me, but I'm trying to get it. So Dean Humphreys says, hi, guys, looking forward to this one. Please mention Cannibal Apocalypse.
Oh, we will.
Yes, well, definitely.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Do you think, I was just thinking about this actually, just weirdly enough, just as we're talking about this before, Cannibal Apocalypse, the fact is there's only maybe about 1 second cut out of the UK release. That's to do with the rats.
It's the rats, isn't it?
Yeah. When the rats get set on fire. So do you think that would ever come out uncut with the rat scene? I'm not saying I want it. I'm not begging for it, but do you think we're not going to do that anymore, animal stuff at all?
I don't know why, but something's telling me that they won't release it because it got a release over here, I think, not so long ago. And like you said, it had that 1 second cut. Like, I don't see the point. I mean, there's far worse got through in some of the others.
Yeah.
So I can't see them submitting it again just to get that 1 second cut. I could be wrong, but I think if you want that film, if you want to see it uncut, because it's not one of the bad ones, it's actually a really good film.
Yeah, it is.
But if you want to see it, you're better off getting the import Blu-ray.
Yeah, have you got that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Lovely quality.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good, actually.
I think John Saxon's fantastic at whatever he does anyway, but yeah, I really do like that film.
Yeah, so I would say that Cannibal Apocalypse, though, it's a funny one. It's a funny title. It's one of those bit misleading, because I wouldn't call it a cannibal movie as such. Would you more say it's more like a virus?
I was surprised when I watched it, because I was like, well, it's not really like a cannibal thing, is it really?
And I
do have the soundtrack to that one.
Do you? Well,
I think I've got Zombie Flesh Eaters as well on vinyl.
Have you? Oh,
sure, I have.
I've got the soundtrack, but I haven't got on vinyl. But we're talking about that. It's a bit of a rabbit hole to go down the vinyl route. But you are quite into that now, and that's going to be a big.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't though. It's not cheap.
That's the thing.
It's too late now.
I know when we were originally discussing this, when we're just talking in chit chat about what have we got and what have you not got, we're talking. The first thing that came immediately was the price of things. And you were saying you would like to get this one, but it's currently £30 on a crappy Blu-ray or a crappy DVD, and you can't more or less want to fork out £30. And we were thinking as well, they are starting to release quite a few obscure ones on Blu-ray. So maybe these dodgy ones, you don't want to pay money for the DVDs if it's going to get a release soonish on Blu-ray. I would like to see that, because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't mind buying them, but you don't want to buy a DVD for £30 to come out on HMV for £12 the next week, because that could happen.
Well, I've just recently, I think you know about this as well, I've just recently got one of the Section 1 titles on DVD because it's never had a Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered if it doesn't. That'll do me as it is.
Uh-huh.
The real title's the ghastly ones.
Yeah. Well, I was very interested in that one, but I do, even when I looked at it, thinking I knew it's a bit of a trash movie, I couldn't pull a trigger on for that amount of money for a really. It's just one of the something weird DVDs, isn't it? So it's not even. It's a good release, but it's not like you want a bit more for your money. If you know what I mean.
I got it less than a tenner, so I was all right with that.
Oh well, yeah, that's all right.
I wouldn't have paid any more for it, thankfully.
About £29. So I knew.
You're joking, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's. You look around Amazon, eBay, and you get put off by the price, and you think, I'll come back to that one.
Yeah, as daft as it sounds, I would get the Blu-ray if it come out.
Yes, I know. Would you say there's some really bad movies out there, but if you had the choice to get them on, if you could get a nice Blu-ray of a certain movie, would you like to have the whole collection in Blu-ray on the 39?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I would like the chance. I wonder how many aren't actually available on Blu-ray. I think there's a few, because all
in Section 1. I can think of 3 straight off.
So
Werewolf and the Yeti, which is the one I'm trying to get. It's just the ghastly ones, which is Blood Rights, and Fight for Your Life.
Yeah, though you can get the DVD of that one.
Yes, it's Blu-ray. You can't get it.
Yeah, but has it been released on? No, it hasn't been released on Blu-ray yet.
No, I don't know why, because was it Blue Underground?
Yeah, Blue Underground.
Who did it? Have you got it?
No, but I've seen it. I've watched that disc.
It's a brilliant film.
It is, but do you think that because of the content in it, the language in it, do you think it's, because it might be like the Mary Whitehouse phenomena, where she hasn't seen anything to do with the movie, but she says, because there's a lot of racist language in it, then that must be a horrible film. But when you think about it, yes, it's got the most amount of racist comments I've ever heard, but it is part of the movie, isn't it? It's there for a reason. Yeah.
I think they had to put the racist element in it to get to the ending that they got.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been as sort of prominent type of thing. The way the ending.
Yeah, I agree.
So by the end, I was like screaming at the telly, "Go on!" Couldn't help myself. But that's not a horror. It's not a horror. That one. It's more of just like a violent action film.
Yes, and do you think that'll ever get released in the UK?
No,
I
don't.
So. No,
I mean, it is. It's. I don't think the film itself is racist. It's just the characters in the film are racist, and it's the things that they say.
Yeah.
But then again, I've heard similar stuff say on films that are out. I think it's the fact if they've combined the racism and the violence together. I think that's what the problem is with that.
Yeah,
but it is a really, really good film.
Oh yeah, I had a really good time with it, and I thought I got it for what it was. I didn't think of it as anything of like a racist thing. I just liked it for, like I say, it's like a full circle movie where it doesn't pull any punches, and it says this is what it is, and you go through it, and you have a great time with it. You do.
Yeah.
So the monkey says, "Greetings, two gods. One god of shelves, that's when they're not falling down, and one god of rock."
Oh!
If I had to ask one question, it would be, what is your favourite film to watch in the month of October? Will
mine.
From the Video Nasties front, or from the Video Nasties, what one would you like to watch in October?
On the Video Nasties?
Well, you could say what you would like to watch mainly in October, and then you can say what Video Nasty would you watch in October.
October, I've got to watch the original Halloween, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Not Trick or Treat, Trick or Treat, the anthology.
Yes.
If I'm to pick a nasty that I'd watch in October, I would, from section 1, I would probably go again with The Burning, because it's like sort of a slasher thing.
Yeah.
I think it fits in more than, because some of them have nothing to do with Halloween, where slasher films are sort of associated with it. So I would definitely go for The Burning.
I think I will go for The Burning as well. I think that would be out of the list. I think I'll go for that. I like Zombie Flesh Eaters. I'll probably maybe put Zombie in there, but that could be a good one to watch anytime. But I think The Burning is a bit of an autumnal theme to it, a bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Aye. But I think for me as well, it would be Halloween 1 and 2, and probably 3 would be the definite ones I would have to watch in October.
I've never watched a film so much that it makes you feel Halloweeny, if that's a word, like Halloween 3.
Yeah, actually,
such an amazing film, that.
The ultimate one.
People diss it left, right, and centre. I think you can't diss that and then go and watch Star Wars, but that's another argument.
Well, I didn't like it for a lot of times, but I just wanted Michael Myers, and when he wasn't in it, I was nearly crying in the cinema.
That was the problem.
But yeah, I'm going to get back to the fact that when you used to go to the cinema at that point, you didn't really know anything about the movies you were going into. Even if you saw Halloween 3, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, you kind of know what you're getting into, but you would never know that Michael Myers wasn't there. So when you got there and he wasn't there, you were kind of like, what? So you never got a heads up, did you?
No. Did Halloween 3 get a cinema release over here?
Yeah, I saw it at the cinema, and I me and my friends.
I didn't see. I thought it went straight to video.
No, we saw it, and I'm going to guess. I definitely saw Halloween and Halloween 2 at a double bill at the cinema, and then maybe I saw 3. I think 3 was on the next week at the cinema, the one down the road from me, and I was thoroughly that annoyed with it. I never watched it again until Keith from Euphoria Pictures sent us a Blu-ray and said, "You've got to see this movie." This is all right, but I put it on.
Does Keith like it?
Oh, he loves it. It's one of his favourites. I put it on. I don't know anyone.
He's got a bit of taste, so he has.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got Turn the Blue Iris. I'm late.
I'm late. Oh dear.
We're here for a bit, so it doesn't matter. So Turn the Blue Iris here, there, and he also says Snuff and Eaten Alive. The Toby Hooper one would turn up.
Snuff, that was another one. News. That was always getting mentioned. I forgot about that.
Well, Snuff is such a notorious movie that you think first of all, when you heard about it, you thought, I'll never see that movie. I'll never be able to see that movie. It'd be one of those ones where you just can't get it. And then
I didn't want to.
did you find out? Well, obviously it's not going to be a spoiler here that nobody actually did get killed on the camera.
I was told was like they said it's a real death, but like you don't know whether it is or not. And I was like, I don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
And then when I started collecting these, I ended up having I got the DVD first, as you know, and then upgraded it to Blu-ray just because I wanted the Blu-ray. And when I watched it, I was like, what the hell? Even with that notorious scene that everybody knows about at the end, it still should never have been banned for me. It was more the word of mouth of that and the reputation it had.
It was a reputation, wasn't it? Because people, because don't forget, there was a lot of marketing going on behind these movies, and they made them out to be something they weren't actually. And as a lot of people would be thinking, like, just hear them buzzwords, or it's real life murder. It was seized. It was banned. When you get it, like the one you actually give us is in a brown paper bag, more or less, with no credits on it, no nothing. You don't know anything about it. I didn't even know it's a Blue Underground one until you told us. So,
no menu, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
You don't even have to press play. Just put it in, it plays itself.
So it kind of gives you the feeling, which is good actually, that you are watching something like that. But
that was their intent. That was Blue Underground's intent.
But when you do watch it, you think to yourself, wow. Imagine if you were a thrill seeker for that point, if you had that sort of sickness about you and you watched it, you would be so disappointed, wouldn't you?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Wow, this is not what it said this is.
The trailer was actually scarier than the film.
Yes, it was. And
all that word at the beginning, Texas Chainsaw like style of it.
Yeah.
The complete, unexpurgated, uncut, unedited, unset. This must be terrible.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and go, Jesus.
I know.
I won't say what I said when I watched it.
I can imagine. You know when they say, when they always talk about the fact it's a movie called The Slaughter, which has got a new ending putting on the end of it. Everybody wants to know what happens in the original Slaughter movie.
Yeah.
How does it end? Because the ending's just cut off, isn't it? And
you
think, how did that film end? It's like a
I don't think anybody ever found out, did they?
I've never found out. And you would think there would be, even if they managed to find the original movie and put it on the disc as well, so you could have that, the sort of unanswered ending to The Slaughter, should we say. So 1974, wasn't it, the original one?
I know it's really early, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Blu-ray's got some, it's got a few special features on. Well, I don't think there's anything really about the ending of what was Slaughter to begin with. There's nothing like that. So I need to watch it again anyway, see if it's as bad as what I think it is.
I'm going to watch it soon anyway. I've got a few things to watch. I'm going to get a few Nasties watched. I haven't watched a couple for a while. I'm busy watching them AGFA releases, you know, the Treasure.
God, yeah. I'm curious about them. No, I think we've got some homework to do, haven't we, really?
Yes, we have, actually. We're going to... Hey, you don't know, there might be a few on here that, like, put us in, you know, like snuff.
Put us in our place?
Yeah. You are?
I said they might put us in our place.
Oh. I tell you what, it'd be surprised that probably people know the stuff on here. You know, that's a good thing about the comments, because they'll be putting things that will tell you stuff that you didn't even know already, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, DVD and Film Bloke says hi. Hiya. DVD and Film Bloke. The Monkey says, question for Rockgod2004. I saw you took a year break from posting videos. What made you take a year off? Really bad COVID?
I didn't really post that much to begin with. It was mainly stuff like my earlier ones. Please don't scroll back and watch them. There's me doing a very bad drunken impression of Mick Jagger. There's a one that's called Out of Order, where I'm in the toilets in Lloyd's in Middlesbrough, and I've done this little video quick before somebody came in, caught me and beat me up. A couple of things like that. I recorded my sister when she was cutting the grass. Scared the shit out of her because I sneaked up on her. A couple with my niece on, I think. I mean, these are all going back like sort of 2007. And then I started uploading stuff like me just doing a couple of bass covers. And then I put stuff up like of my band, or bands, both of them. Yeah. So it's never been like a regular thing for me. But like I said to you, John, after this,
yeah,
so we'll see how this goes. I might actually start and do similar stuff to like what you do.
Well, I was gonna say that as you were saying that, I was saying that we were talking a little bit about you like doing stuff properly, and I would say, and this isn't a spoiler for videos that you might have coming up. You've got a fantastic vinyl collection, and I'm sure that people, especially horror and soundtrack related, which people will be. I mean, when you were showing me, I was blown away. So these are things that I'm sure that people would love to see. So I think you've got a lot of things that you could show, and obviously you've got all your video nasties there as well. A large selection of them, so you've got a lot of stuff that you could bring to the sort of Blu-ray collecting and stuff, and nasties and whatnot, a lot of horror related gear. So I think you've got a lot of videos you could put out easily. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's just making the first one, talking to a camera. I'll probably. It's all right like this because I'm talking to you, but when I'm doing it yourself, I'd be like,
just pretend you're talking to me and then cut me.
It's like leaving a voicemail, innit?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's funny because it might seem a bit weird at first, but you'll get used to it, and eventually you'll just think, "Well, what was all that? What was the problem?" You know what I mean? Yeah, give a shot. I'm sure that
I will.
Yeah,
I'll try and get one done within the next week.
Right.
I'll do my best.
That's your homework off the street.
Right. I'll try and get one done before we do our section 1 stream.
Yeah.
And you can let me know what you think.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to see it because we've been talking about that again. You know, about this, the fact of getting stuff on. If you've got stuff, you see, you've got like sort of stuff that you've collected. That I think people need to see it because there's a lot of things you've got which for me would be the thing that I know that type of people would love that type of thing. Well, I do, and you know, I would imagine there's a lot of more people who are into the horror would feel the same way.
I was watching one of Keith, Euphoria pictures last night. I watched his latest one. And he was showing some of his busts. Jesus, he must have spent a canny bit on them. He's got some absolute corkers.
I know these busts are. For me, it's a space. I haven't got the space to house them.
I'm actually still waiting for him to send me that Iron Maiden one in the post though, because I'm sure he said I could have it.
He might have done, He might have done.
That's what you told me anyway.
Don't bring me in. I tell you what, don't bring me into this one. I can see there being a fight on here over this bust. So David Ains Film Bloke says, yeah, actually, it's rare we get 18 rated films these days. It kind of is, isn't it?
Majority seem to be 15, and the 15s now, the scarier and gorier than most of the nasties ever were.
It's amazing what they're putting a 15 these days.
Yeah.
And you're watching, say if you're watching something, you think this is a bit extreme, and if you look at it, it's a 15, you think. And if you say an 18, you think this must be really bad.
I went to see, was it the first one or the second one? I think it was It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
With my eldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to think she was watching this. And we sat in the front row. And I can't repeat what she said because she was shouting this out. Oh, Jesus Christ! Effie, Effie, Effie. This should be an 18. Why is this only a 15? I'm going, shut up. And then another jump. Oh, Jesus Christ! She absolutely crapped herself
away from her.
No, because she'd got these nachos with cheese as well. She's going, drop one. And she's feeding me. I'm going, all right. People are going to think we are weird. Don't care. Ah, Jesus Christ! Then she was off again.
At least she enjoyed it, kind of.
I think that it should have been an 18, mind.
Well, I think I didn't find them scary, mind. I've got to admit, I didn't. I liked them. I thought they were decent movies, but I didn't find them scary. I think there's a couple of
the opening to the second one with the gay couple. I thought that was horrendous. That turned my stomach because it was like,
oh yeah.
The two gay lads.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Mm. But the writing the books is quite graphic in places. I've never read the book, man. It's too long.
I've only ever read the book once. It was when I first got it. It was 1986. What a book.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's
over 1,000 pages, yeah.
I've read The Stand, which is over 1,000 pages, but it's just too large for me. I found. So St. John says, Mary Whitehouse, who is she? And tell us what or who was she to tell us what we could watch? Well, yeah,
Exactly.
because I was looking actually before that she had a big. I was looking at what she had a problem with, and one of the things she was really
Everything.
well, yeah, literally everything. If you put everything in that, you've got it. But one of the things she was really adamant about getting rid of was Doctor Who. Apparently, she thought that was one of the come on, this
Why?
Because they said it was on its the time when kids could see it, was a kids program, and it was too scary for kids to watch. And she said it should be taken off air. So that was her. I mean, that she obviously said a lot of things about these movies, but she was crazy. She was crazy about everything. She didn't like anything. So what can you do? I think to be honest, I don't know how she became such a big spokesperson, because people used to listen to her. You know, in politicians, why would they listen to her? I don't understand that one.
The way her false teeth used to rattle when she used to go, video nasties. She used to, she'd grate on me. There's video nasties. I've never seen one. I wouldn't.
I know, that's the thing. She never even saw the things that she complained about. She never saw, which was another strange thing as well. She had no informed view, did she? At all.
She'd never watched them.
No,
she thought she was too intelligent.
Yes.
There's footage of her saying, I wouldn't. I've got too much up here.
Well, let us crazy crackpots watch them then.
Yeah.
So Dean Humphrey says, luckily our video shop had the Nasties hidden out of way. Plus I knew the lady behind the counter. Great days. Yeah, we've all been there, haven't we? Because I remember
when you walked on with that bad boy.
Well, you know, when I've got, when you had like a mate, well, not a mate, but I got friendly with a bloke in there, and you would know that I think he was the one who used to say it was The Exorcist. That's where I saw The Exorcist first. He says, look, I've got this if you want. I was like, oh yeah. So he used to go to him quite a few times for this Exorcist tape, you know, and you kind of do your secret sign. You got that the minute, and you'd be like, you know what you have to do when there's no one around. You just say, oh, there's me. You sort of, run of the mill, like, Beverly Hills Cop or something, and then you'd say, you got the special stuff. You go,
I've come for that Bambi.
That's it. But it was a thing, wasn't it? And you had to do it. And the thing was,
I did never get the chance to do that, because I think the video shops we used just didn't really got rid of them.
Well, it was funny because the ones I used to go to all the time was called the Video Den. It was like the one that started it all off in Wiki Bay. And we used to go there all the time. And as soon as this band stuff was gone, it was gone. And we didn't really know. They would say, oh, have you got the burning? The bloke was like, nah, you'll never get that now, so don't even ask for anything. Oh, wow. He was like totally against all this thing. You knew never to ask him for stuff. So you had to go mooching around to other shops to see if there was like some people in there were a bit more liberal. And you get a sort of idea with a fella in the shop. You would say, look, I think he's a good bloke to buy. I'd like to ask, and you would sort of chance your arm and say, oh, have you got any band stuff? Or you try not to say it loud and that, and would say no. But if they got to know you, but then again, they didn't know if you were like a stooge,
No, exactly.
So they may have a stash of them, but would say no. They would only let them out the mates and stuff. So crazy, isn't it?
There was a little shop in South Bank in Middlesbrough, and they took all theirs off the shelves and they put them upstairs in boxes. And this day, I'd gone in for something. I can't remember what it was, and something was mentioned about. I think I was after probably one of the Jaws ones,
yeah.
And I was asking if they had like the X rental for sale or something. And she said, "Oh, we've got some upstairs. You want to have a look?" First thing I put my hand on was Cannibal Holocaust with the sleeve.
Oh, that's.
And I had the chance to buy it for £5, and I turned it down because I thought it was too sick. Never want to see it. Or did I regret that?
That's one that could haunt you. That one, isn't it? Because that's like one of them big ticket ones, isn't it? It's because you don't see. So these ones, don't forget that a lot of these were destroyed, weren't they?
Oh God, yeah, they were burned.
And that was the end of them. So I think the rarest one on that thing is what's it called? Beast and Heat.
I was going to say it. Do you know what the rarest one is? Because we've both got it. It is. Yeah, obviously we've got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, but literally it was one that just how many was like just released like for a couple of hundred, was it? If that 300 or something?
Yeah. I think Devil Hunter's quite hard to get as well.
Yeah, Devil Hunter was. I can't believe that just came out on 88. I was like, wow, Devil Hunter uncut. Have you seen Devil Hunter?
I got that one. I don't know if you've got it or not.
Yeah,
Severin released it. It's got Devil Hunter and Cannibal Terror on together.
Yeah, double bill. No, I've got the separate 88 ones.
And then I saw yours. I was like, oh, I want them. Anyway, luckily I got Cannibal Terror. God, that's bad. And I've been looking to get the other one, Devil Hunter, with the slip cover, but I ain't paying what they're asking for it. 30 and 40 quid because it's got a bloody slip cover.
It's mental, isn't it? I mean, I like my slip covers, as you know, but there comes a time when I prefer.
You've got to be careful with the rip-off merchants.
Well, not. I don't go to I've been to scalpers a few times. Can you tell? I'll tell you what, Nige, you're gonna love this one. Where's me ladders? I knew it.
Is it him?
No, it's not him. It's this is in the Blue Iris. You would see him. You come up with Michael Hughes if he's in.
I need to make a mistake, and I'm going to say it.
He's yes. Where's me ladder? Well, the thing is though that I think that Michael forgets who says this. They are my ladders, and he's asking for my ladders for him. So he's got a cheek. He's still got them. He's never used them. So I'm going to start saying to him.
Need a bit of piece of chewy there as well to go. Where's my slip covers? I've always noticed that piece of chewy.
Yeah, he's always got. That was probably my chewing gum. Everything he's got belongs to me, you know. It's not a lie. DVD and film bloke. Also, as late as the 90s, trading video nasties was almost like trading drugs, which is crazy to think these days. Even if the film is banned, the police wouldn't care enough to raid you. Yeah, it's one of those ones where we're just talking about that. The fact that you would sort of know someone who knew someone, you would trade them, and you would even buy some of them off, like the fellow with me and John all used to go to. He used to get copies and used to say, I'll put 2 on a tape for you for a tenner. But he would say, his thing was, don't tell anyone where you got it from. Don't tell anyone you've got it. And it was as if you were buying something that was like, well, it was kind of illegal.
You felt like a criminal, didn't you?
Oh, you did. And I don't know about you, but I didn't. It's not as if I felt like, hey, get in. I'm against the law. I've done this. I've broken the law. I'm a rebel. I was quite nervous about owning some of them. I'm thinking, what happens if they do knock on the door? Not ever going to do it, because I don't think anyone really raided a house unless you were making copies and selling them.
Yeah, I think that was the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But yeah.
But he's right though. Yeah. It did go right into the 90s, like I said to you. With it, that was when I borrowed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and I lent him Last House on the Left. That was in the 90s, and I was thinking, geez, I hope I can get this tape on before anybody says I can just search that pram, because I think I was pushing my daughter in the pram at the time, or my son. It was one of them. I'm sure I had. I was like, bloody hell, I've got this.
I know.
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's one of them things where you don't even if you say, like, I don't know, we're talking about the house near the park, house on the edge of the park is coming out to buy legally in the UK uncut.
Yeah.
And you just go and buy it in the shop. You wouldn't feel that bad about it. But in the olden days, if you had that walking down the street or something, you would have it in your coat pocket and you'd be like,
you were a pervert. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'd be dragged off the court and all that, for having it.
Do you think it will be uncut?
Well, that's the big talking point, isn't it? Apparently 88 said it's fully uncut. I can't see it. I can see them getting a version. If they say the version that they've got is fully uncut, but it's already been cut, then they're not cutting it. But the version has been cut previously. That's the way I'm looking at it. But if it's fully uncut, wow. I just can't see.
The Severin one's pretty stunning to look at, isn't it?
Yeah, it isn't it?
Yeah. The packaging and everything. I mean, it's such a nice release, that.
Well, just very quickly, we're talking about that's what
that's
we're
it.
talking about. That's spot glossing in there. Look at that, because it's like it lifts. It's like you can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, and you get
it's like
and all that, so
really hard card as well. It's not flimsy.
No, it's one of those ones. It's one of them really nice. Yeah, because I mean, there's not to be said for that. The fact that I know they're a bit more expensive, but they're a nice release, aren't they? When they do the Severin stuff. So yeah, so
I know it's more expensive, but it's stuff like that that makes it worth the extra money, I think.
yeah, but I mean, back in the day, if I said you, "Oh, that's coming out in cut," you would have said no chance.
Yeah.
But what's in it? And also, DVD. Philbrook says, I believe sometimes they would take the reels out of the cassettes when they are traded in and respooled later.
Yeah, there were. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could do that, couldn't you? You'd get like you could kind of doctor a box and you could put like Bambi on it, but it's not, you know. And there was always things where you used to hear like people used to. I think there was another thing when they were talking like in the papers when they're saying, "Oh well, I went to get Bambi," and somebody had like taped over it the start of it to hide what was underneath it, and then when they watched it, it was like something like Cannibal Holocaust underneath it, you know.
That rings a bell. That.
Yeah, can you remember that somebody had,
Yeah.
there was all these stories coming out. My daughter sat down to watch Bambi, which played for about 2 seconds, like then it went off, and then it was Cannibal Holocaust underneath or something like that. Wow.
Imagine the poor little kid who was watching it.
Aye. Oh, look, there's a nice turtle coming. What? Oh, hang on. I mean, I tell you what, imagine if you were a kid and you saw that, how scarred you would have been if you just went and saw something as horrific as these. So the monkey says, DVD in the film bloke, Rockgod read your mind.
Read your mind. Yeah, he's on about why didn't I do videos. I think it's in front of that one.
Yeah. Double Bill Movies, Trev says, hiya, all right, Trev. What ho, chaps. Great T-shirts, both of yous. I'm liking this look of the past from your first-hand accounts. All right. Well, it's good. I mean, it's one of those things where actually it's quite weird that even talking before we came on the stream, a couple of times we're talking about like past things where we're talking about music that we bought, experiences we had with bands. It's all exactly that similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the whole Nasties thing is so similar. So that's why I think it's been good for us two to hook up for this, because we've got
Definitely,
so much in common when it comes to this, and that's why it was a. And as soon as we started talking, we thought this has got to be a live stream. You know, it's just there's no. But yeah, and the good thing about it is there's that much to talk about in this. It's not as if you're going to run out on one stream, but this has got a lot of legs. So
and this is just an intro as well.
It is. It's just the intro, isn't it? So the getting back to it being an intro, we're going to after this stream, we're going to go, and the next one's going to be focusing on section 1 titles, and we'll start off on them and see how far we'll get on that first stream, and then that'll progress to the next one. So section 1 might not be done on the first stream. It might be a 2 or 3 or 4. It doesn't. We don't know where it's going to go for how many streams will like look after a certain section. It's all up in the air at the minute, but we do know that definitely after this one, it's just like kind of getting to know you and trying to see what people are asking and if people are interested, which I think people are, which is great. I knew they would be because it's an interesting subject to me. And
I'm chuffed to bits. I didn't expect this many questions, to be honest.
No, well, let's see if we can get through them, because that's going to be.
I do apologise if you keep hearing this knocking. It's the bloody dog's tail. He keeps coming in and wagging his tail on the door.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing it. Get out! Bloody nuisance.
Richard Vowsden says, hiya Richard. Even the lads pirate VHS video nasties, so much part of my childhood. I now have every nasty on DVD. Shall I convert to Blu-ray? Well, I'm going to let you. What would you say? Yes. How would you go about that though, Nige? If it was somebody who's going to go into Blu-rays for these lots, how would you tell them to go with that?
Some of them aren't out on Blu-ray yet, or if they're ever going to. As we are both waiting for Mardi Gras Massacre, aren't we?
Yeah, what's happened to that? It's just vanished.
It's coming out September now. We got put back. It was supposed to be out last month or July, whatever.
Yeah.
It's coming out September now. And there's a couple of them you can only get on DVD. However, the ghastly ones that I got on DVD is now on Blu-ray, but it's part of this huge box set.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to get it is pay 150 odd quid for this box set, unless they decide to start and release them individually. But when I think it's Severin or Vinegar Syndrome. I think it's Severin who's releasing it, but I've not known them release them separately from their box sets. Mm-hmm. So I'm not holding out much hope. Same again with the Werewolf and the Yeti. You can only get that in a box set on Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. Or you can get one of those German media books.
Yeah.
You're still looking 30, 40 quid. But there's a lot of them you will probably be able to find on eBay, Amazon, some of them even in HMV still.
It's funny. I think that's what I would say is like research is like the main thing. You want to, I would say, research it and try and get the ones that you can get easily, get them as quick as you can.
Yeah.
And some of them are quite cheap. You can even get some in CX, believe it or not. But be aware that they're not all out there. They're not all cheap. They're not all easy. And you might have to pay a few quid for them. But as Nige is saying, you can maybe get a hold of them, but you might, what's be worse if you paid a chunk for this huge box set for one movie, then that came out separately the next week for like a tenner. So I think that's same with Nige. We know there's a way to get some of them, but you've got to be kind of waiting out for that when it comes out in the right form.
Also, as well, if you want the full uncut versions, you've got to be careful because there's the odd one over here that still isn't uncut, and the biggest culprit is I Spit in Your Grave.
Yeah.
If you want that uncut, you've got to get the American import that says unrated on it. I mean, they've released another cut over here. It says it's like a newer cut. That's all they've said, but it's still not uncut. I got they did a box set with the original, the remake, and the two sequels, and then that Deja Vu one. Yeah. Have you seen it?
No. I've seen the box set. I haven't seen the
Deja Vu one. It's basically a sequel to the original. She's back in it. Goes on for about 2.5 hours. It's actually really good. I enjoyed it. But I watched the original first. Oh my God, it's butchered. Really badly cut over here. There's loads missing.
Yeah, and
it's not easy to watch. I will warn you that.
No, if I'm honest, the scene where you're talking about, I do fast forward that now. I don't feel like I need to see that twice. I've done it. I've watched it, and I like the fact it's uncut. But I've got an Australian one actually, an Australian release.
Oh, is that uncut as well?
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I mean, there's a 4K out actually, and that's uncut apparently.
Yeah, I'd like that. It looks not cheap decent.
Though. No, it's not. So that means it makes you think that I've got the movie, I can watch it on pretty good release, and it would be a little bit kind of, I don't know if me pennies run to getting the zenith of some ones I would do, definitely. Like Zombie had to be, even though it wasn't cheap, and you would have to get that one. And then for me, I'm kind of done with Zombie. I can't see it ever being topped on the 4K, so I'm quite happy to leave it at that, and I'm good with that. But I think that do know that when you get into the Blu-ray, when you get into video nasties, you're going to have to reach into your pocket sometime. It's inevitable, isn't it? Yeah, you can never escape that, can you? If you think, oh, I've done so good, well, I picked 10 titles up for next to nothing, and the next one comes soon, it's big money. You might just have to pay that big money.
It can then go the other way as well. Some of the ones that you think are going to be really hard to get, like Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal Ferox, you can actually get them quite easily.
Yeah.
Again, though, you're better off going for stuff like the Grindhouse ones that we've got.
So you know the Grindhouse, the Cannibal Ferox. You know how Cannibal Holocaust has the animal-free cut where you can watch it with no animal stuff in. Does Cannibal Ferox have the same cut?
I don't think it does. The only thing that I remember last time I watched that, because I've watched it for a couple of years, there's a scene with a pig. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The black pig in the pit.
Yeah.
You can watch it without that.
Right. Okay, I'll get you.
Because I think that's classed as the worst bit. It is the worst bit.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It gives you the opportunity to watch it without that, but I don't think it gives you the opportunity to watch it totally
Yeah.
animal cruelty free.
Have you watched the animal cruelty free one of Cannibal Holocaust yet?
No, I'm going to.
Yeah.
It's just I've had that much to watch lately.
Yeah. I've watched, well, not recently, but I have watched when I got it, I watched the full version. I thought, right, that's me done with the full version. I know what's in it now. Well, I didn't know what's in it anyway. And I'll now go down the path of I'll go the cruelty-free version now, because it's seamlessly cut. You would never know there's anything in it. They've done a really good job with it, mate. Best cuts I've ever seen in a movie.
Well, when you watch it without the animal bits in.
Yeah, you would never know them bits were in. It's so good how they've done it.
So it doesn't even like jump to make you think, there was one there.
No, because me and John Hall, we checked out a scene. I think it was the first scene, which I think is the worst scene, actually, with the little monkey, the little...
Oh, the muskrat thing.
Muskrat. Yeah. So I think that's the worst one. And
it's the turtle for me.
The turtle goes on for that long.
It goes on for so long.
Never stop. I mean, this one's quite short, but it's awful. And the fact is that you see, when the bit's coming up, and then you think, hang on a minute, we're looking for a cut. We're looking for an obvious cut or the music altering, nothing. And it just carries on.
Wow.
And you would never, ever know that was there. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what it would be like, because obviously the movie's that shocking with animal stuff in it. Might lose some of its shock value without it.
It was Sylvester Stallone's stun.
Yeah,
where's me ladder? It was Sylvester Stallone's son who started Grindhouse.
Sage,
yeah.
Sage Stallone.
And
yeah,
he died, didn't he? Was it last year?
Oh, I think it was a while ago, actually. I think he's been dead for a bit, unfortunately.
I might have only found out last year. I couldn't believe it.
Mm.
So he must have been a cult horror film, nasty fan type of thing.
I believe that he was like mates with Eli Roth, and the pair of them were like...
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I think I'm right in thinking that. And the pair of them were just out and out go-hounds that just loved this stuff, and they were really passionate about getting this thing out. And he was... I think it's kind of faltered recently, and maybe it's because he's not involved anymore. Because it don't seem to get many Grindhouse stuff now, do you?
After Pieces, I think it was. I think they said they weren't going to be releasing any more titles. I got an email with it, and next thing I know, Death Game's coming out.
Is it Death Game?
However, good luck finding it.
All right. Yeah.
It's out. People have it on eBay, but 80 quid, 90 quid.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you never get the chance to even buy it first time round, do you?
You go on Amazon, it says like unavailable.
So here's Sophie from Sophie's Revival. Hiya, Sophie. All right. Evening, gentlemen, she says.
Good evening, madam.
Good lass, Sophie. Good lass. David Dean Film Bloke says, hi, the monkey. Turn the Blue Eyes says 18 months. Question mark. I'm not too sure what that is.
18 months?
18 months, yes. People are just people talking themselves here at the moment. DVD and Film Bloke says there was a great video by TYTD Reviews about bootleg video nasties he got. I'm just thinking who.
I don't know what TYTD is.
I'm not too sure. I'll probably know exactly who it is if you can get in touch with us and just say what that is. This
is why I hate it when people abbreviate. I'm not a clue.
No, I don't know. I probably do. But yeah, bootleg video nasties. I mean, to be honest, do you have any bootleg video nasties now, or are they gone?
No, I didn't have many bootleg anyway. I had a tape with, I think I had Last House on the Left on, and it might have been one of the zombie films after it, but I don't have that anymore. That was in the 90s. I had that.
I think I might have some that I got off that lad in the back of a cupboard somewhere. I haven't got. The only one I had. I'm trying to think of. I had quite a few pre-certs, and I think I had a couple. I definitely had, and it's not one that I've even classed as a nasty, but is a nasty. And I'm going to say it's Summit or Terror Eyes. You know Terror Eyes? Is that a nasty?
That is a nasty.
Yeah, I had the VHS.
In fact, it's a Section 1.
Really? I don't know if it was cut, though, because it had an 18 certificate on it. It wasn't a pre-cert. So I'm thinking maybe it was a cut version of it.
You can get that on Blu-ray.
Yes, you can actually. Yeah, I didn't like it
Called
actually.
Night School.
Yes, it's got that Rachel Warden. Is that right?
Rachel Ward, and was there somebody else famous in it? Can't remember now. So I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a good film. That
Because that's the one
it
with the
scared
crash
me
on.
more when I saw the video of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one with the motorbike
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah.
Terrified me when I first watched it. Well, when I got the Blu-ray, I enjoyed it, but I thought that wasn't as scary as what I thought it was in the 80s, man.
Yeah. It's funny actually.
And I remembered who the perpetrator was, which I'm not going to say.
All right. So yes. Mark Norwood, evening gents, evening Mark.
Good evening, mate.
Jigster777 says, policeman, let's be having it.
Let's be having it. He's after your nasties.
It'd be funny. I would love. Well, I wouldn't like to think anybody getting caught on this, but I wonder if anybody has been actually, caught doing this. I would imagine there's people in this community somewhere has been, guilty of that. Just owning
Caught copying them and distributing them and that.
Well, the thing is, to be honest, that's what you're going to get caught for, and selling it to somebody. That's what I think. If you had one in your house, the police would just take them all off you, give you a slap on the wrist, and that'd be it. I can't imagine you getting done for that.
I've seen a video where they took all his tapes and they took all his video recorders, and he got like a hefty fine as well. Right. Don't think he went to jail.
I know you definitely big fines in for you, I would imagine. The monkey says, Sophie, we will have to be behaving here, or can we speak freely without getting warned of a timeout? That must be that Sophie's hanging over the timeout button. Martin Norwood says, Nige needs a whole episode on Jaws in the future. Could you do like a Jaws video?
Yeah, I think I could. It might be actually quite long though. That's the only thing. Well, the stuff I've got.
Jaws 1 and Jaws. Well, make it 4 parts. But don't say that
DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, Funko Pops, posters.
Yeah.
Went to see. They did it live with an orchestra.
Really?
They went on tour. Yeah, it was. I think it was. Was it the Czech Orchestra? So basically, you got the film on a big screen. Went to see it at York Barbican.
Right.
And they totally took all the music out. So you were watching the film, and the orchestra were on the stage below the film.
Oh wow!
The conductor had a thing with all the cues on a computer, and as the music was coming up, you'd watch them, you'd see him getting ready, counting them in, and they were playing every note that was in the film.
Wow! So that was.
I'm not going to lie, I nearly cried. It was absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
So when we walked in, there was this absolutely humongous poster up, and it said like Jaws live at the York Barbican, and that with the rest of the dates, I think it is. And I got it. It said, if you give us like a tenner for charity, you can have it. So I think I give them 20 quid actually on the night. The poster's over there rolled up. It is huge.
So the thing is, can you actually put it somewhere or not?
If you can find a big enough frame, yeah, but I think it would probably go near enough from the ceiling to the floor, just about. Massive.
I've got a poster I've got. I'm going to show it off one day. The biggest poster I've ever got. I'll not tell you what it is, but it's not a movie one. It's a band one, but not band, but it's a band, like a group.
A band as in like music.
As music, yes. You'd be surprised at it, and I was when I got it. It's like the posters. It seems like it's on like vinyl. It's not actually paper. It's like a thick. It's like lino actually.
Oh.
It's on. It's lovely. And Deborah did say she thought it looked nice, but I'm just thinking of the area I've got. There's hardly anywhere I can put that. I've got the span to put this thing to put out in its entirety. I don't know how I will get any frame for it. So it's going to be a really tough one to put up, but I will show it off.
I'm dying to know what it is now. So you have to either take a photo or do a video on it.
Well, I will do a video. I'll just put the biggest poster I've ever got. I'll have to put it out on the floor down there because it'll be like that. I'll probably do the video. I'll be sitting on the chair and I'll just put this thing out and just roll it out on the floor. Probably just be a short video, but yes, I'll do it definitely. I've talked about it loads of times, but I'll have to do it. But yes, that's a good thing. If you want to get some ideas for your channel, Jaws, there you go. I'll be interested in seeing that, mate. Turn the Barreras says that's singeing. Ironically, she kind of did point out us to the good stuff. The good stuff.
Talking to each other, I think.
Yes, they are.
Unless they mean Mary Whitehouse, I don't know.
Actually, yeah, there could be, because we talked about that, the fact that Mary Whitehouse did more or less.
Didn't realise at the time, but she did us a favour, yeah.
Don't, like they say, don't go, like she might have pulled out an obscure movie and said, don't go near that, and you think, that's on my list. You would say, I'll have to get that one. David Ian's Film Bloke says, I don't even think trading standards got involved with uncertificated films. I've imported a few films really because they were not out in this country or the UK. Releases god awful. Yeah, I think, to be honest, every time I've got something through, it never ever gets like any problems with customs. You ever found that, Nige? If anybody stepped in
for content,
but they just said, "Oh, you're not having that movie."
Did it happen to me once? I can't remember now. I don't think it did, but I'll tell you what I was worried about because of it. When that Gestapo's, is it Gestapo's Last Orgy it's called?
Yeah.
When that came out, because it had been refused over here.
Yeah.
So they released it in America. And I ordered it, I was thinking, Jesus, what if this doesn't get through? Because it's been refused certificate. But I thought, all the other stuff's come through. Faces of Death's worse.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I was thinking the same thing about that, because I thought, well, they know that it's not allowed to be out here, but I'm importing it from America to here. And I'm thinking, would it ring up any alarm bells to say, oh, hang on a minute, we know that this isn't allowed here, or the full uncut version, should I say. But there was no problem. The only one I ever had a problem with was, it said it was Suspiria, the 4K of Suspiria, believe it or not. I got this thing to say, this, it was supposed to get delivered on Thursday, say, and then they said, oh, we can't deliver this because there's a problem with customs. And I thought, oh my God, this, not that I was thinking of anything, or prosecution or anything. I thought, well, they're not going to send it back, or there's nothing the matter with it. And then about a week later, it turned up without any explanation. So I don't know what that was about. That's the only problem I've ever had. Yeah.
I've had customs charges. That's about it, though. But
yeah, I know, which are a bit of a joke, aren't they? So Andrew Green says, you know Andrew Green, don't you?
Yeah, I should do. I'm his father.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you're getting more. My son's never commented on my videos, so you know you've got that. If each of you could have one prop from a nasty, which would it be and why?
Whoa, what a question!
Good question. Very good question.
You go first if you can think, and while I ever think, one prop from one of the nasties.
It's got to be a prop that's iconic to a nasty. I'm trying to think of some things that people get killed with. I'll tell you what, I'm just looking at my list here.
I bet I know what you'd like.
How are we then?
The maggot zombie head from Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Well, actually, if I'm honest, yeah, that would be something high up on the list. Definitely, yeah. When you come to mention it, it's not something I would have thought of. If I looked on my list a bit more. The one I'm looking at when I'm looking at there, which is Blood Feast, and I would have something from Blood Feast. Now it could be any part of the just ridiculous shop that he has. The tins of beans.
So old.
Yeah, just if somebody said there's a thing from that shop in Blood Feast, like the packaging that he has in this is supposed to be this.
Yeah.
Something from that, or some weird sort of stupid dagger from it.
Do you know it's weird? You saying that about Blood Feast, because when I watched it, the stuff that was on the shelves, it made me think of like me nana, because I was thinking, this looks like the type of stuff that she used to have in like her cupboards and stuff when I was a kid.
Oh, it was like a trip. It was like a
sort of it was, and like the old-fashioned decor and stuff.
And even when they went through to cut all the people up to put in the pies, That was all old-fashioned stuff as well, wasn't it? The old-fashioned pots they had to cook them in for the banquet. Yeah,
I think I would have I would probably have the Cropsey head from the burning, because it is one of my favorite horror films and Nasties, but also it's not only will it be good to have something from that film, it's also Tom Savini who did it.
Yeah, well, it's that, isn't it?
So it's like that's a double whammy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's and people would know that one. Same with the zombie head. Nobody would get the blood feast one, would they? They would say, "I've got a tin of peas from a factory." And that's it. Go. So
a tin of peas.
I'll tell you what.
Congratulations.
What you have to do is, if you got that movie and freeze frame that scene and just went on eBay and found a tin from there, there's got to be one somewhere, hasn't there? That's a bit of a question.
It's worth looking for now.
Yes.
That film is so bad, but I love it. Oh, I think I've watched it about 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. It's very short. It's only on about hour and 10 minutes, isn't it? Something like that.
If that. Yeah. It's so good.
It's a cracker, though. I love it.
Yeah, it's the fact that the acting's atrocious, and when she goes to the
film, I was going to say, it's probably the worst acting you could ever wish to see.
When you cook as a banquet, and he's going, "Oh yes," he's always wringing his hands. He says, "Yes, I'll cook you a blanket, banquet," and it's going to be, "Where's me ladders?" It's going to be one of the best ones you've ever had. It's an Egyptian one. It doesn't get. She's going, "Oh, it's just so excited about this Egyptian one," which she's going to really eat. It's people, and but she's really over the moon about this banquet, isn't she?
Yeah. I've been that close to getting the soundtrack on vinyl for that before.
Really?
I had it in my hand.
Did you?
It was at a record fair, yeah, and I put it back and I've regretted it ever since.
Well, if you just got a biscuit tin and got just going boom, boom, you've kind of got it, haven't you? It's just a good little song. Ding, ding.
I farted better.
So Sophie says, "Monkey, I never behave." Yes, that's very true.
Get a room.
I'll tell Jason on you. Turn the Blue Writer says, "The only one I have is the Bogeyman. Have a few other presets."
Brilliant film. I love that.
It's not a bad one. It's a preset, that one, isn't it?
And
unless that's you only got like Bogeyman on Blu-ray. Look at that
soundtrack.
Yeah,
you get a weird little thing in this. Well, I find it. It's like oh, I best not show the inside one. I was going to show you the gatefold sleeve. I better not.
All right, one of them.
There's something in this, I'm sure. There it is. So as well as the vinyl, which is a... thought I'd lost it there. It's a lovely green with a black blobby thing in it, look.
That's nice.
So as well as that, the insert of this thing, I thought, what the hell is this?
You know them vinyls there? Now that's printed, obviously. And you know when they print them, can they print them exactly the same, or are they all a little bit different?
No, they all have a slight difference. It's bizarre how they do it. I've seen how they press these weird and wonderful coloured things. It's really strange. But this come with it as well. And I thought, it's just a see-through CD with nothing on.
Yeah.
This is a CD record that must be played on your turntable. Do not insert these into your CD player. So I thought, well, have a look at the actual little grooves around there. When you play it on your normal turntable, it's the audio from the trailer, I think it was.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
So it's kind of like it's not a flexi disc now, but it's a bit.
No, it's like a CD.
All right, with grooves on it.
Yeah, but there's the groove. Can you see?
Oh, you can. That's nuts. That mine.
And then this bung thing in the middle, it's got like a center hole there, which you take out, for your spindle to go on your record player?
Oh yes.
Huzzah!
Never ever. So you've never seen? I've never seen one of them before.
I'd never seen it before like that. No,
That's crazy, isn't it? It's good how
I've had it. Oh, it does play.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder why they even thought of it.
Hey,
I'm saying it makes you wonder why they've even thought of that. You know,
I think it's probably just a little gimmick, an extra selling point. So I think it's long sold out now, man. But it didn't sell out really fast, which I thought it would have. But yeah, I think that is another one of like the really good Nasties. I think that's only a section 2 though.
Yeah, I think that's in there. So the second one is that still banned as well? Is that on the banned list, or was it because it's basically?
It was on the banned list, but it's not banned now. But it's just never been released. I've looked for it. I want it.
They're gonna have to release it as a double bill one time because
I hope they do.
I wouldn't really want to buy it separately, personally.
I've got the first one because well, you'll have that because you collected all those slasher ones, didn't you?
Yeah.
But the second one, I'm hoping Severin could do, like, or Vinegar Syndrome could get hold of them both and, like you said, do like a double bill with it.
Yeah, that'd be the best way because
I've never even seen the second one.
I've only heard that it's practically just the first one with just extra scenes in it.
Loads of clips with like extra bits, yeah.
Yeah. Now, how many movies are like that when you just like get a massive load of flashbacks? Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is basically the first 30 minutes is just the flashbacks of the first film.
Yeah, I know.
I love that film, mine, but it's a bit of a you can't watch.
The first one's miles better.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, but I just like that the acting in the second one. Dear me.
But yeah, the original VHS to the as we called it, the Bogeyman. In America, it's the Boogeyman, which is what it should be really. But the English VHS covers, I was always like attracted to that. I always wanted to see it as a kid.
Yeah. And when you went to video shops, obviously, the covers were the ones that pulled you in for anything, really, isn't it? Any movie you would want to see the good covers. You might pick a load of rubbish, but you don't want the cover. But the Nasties ones were the ones that were like so good at doing that to get you to think it's going to be the best thing. And sometimes you were really like disappointed in what you got to what it actually looked like, and you thought there's nothing even on the cover is nothing in the movie like that. But that was just part of the fun, I think. It's like Russian roulette. They're getting these things out. So DVD and Film Blog says mostly from the US, but a few from Germany. The only important films I have which were never certificated are The Room, Who Killer Captain Alex,
I think it is Killed.
Or Who Killed Captain Alex
and Bad Black. They were never released in the UK. I've never heard of none of them. Have you?
Well, I think The Room is that one. You know that really bad movie that was directed by that fellow with the long hair. I think it's called something like Tommy Wiseau, and it's awful. I think that's what The Room is. I don't know the other one.
Do you mean awful as in crap, or awful as in like sick?
Just no, as in like hopeless. This bloke, it's one of the worst films ever made. It's like but if the I think that's what it is. I think that's what The Room that they're talking about there, because that's when I think of The Room, I always think of that movie. And yes, you can't get it in the UK. I'd love to see it, but I do know it's meant to be hopeless. I think they made a movie about the fact of that movie recently. I'll have to get a picture. You know the movie I'm talking about. I'll show you the picture of the cover. What's it called? The Disaster Summit. Trying to think what was in it. It's terrible when you're blank on a stream and you go, your mind just goes, woof, gone.
There's a film I've only discovered existed recently that's never had a release over here. I don't know whether it's banned, but they've refused the certificates. I'm assuming it is. And it was because of the James Bulger thing. It's called Mikey.
I've heard of that. I've heard the name, but I don't know too much about it.
But you know the company who released One Dark Night in America is MVD or something.
Yeah.
They've released it over there. I'm curious to see it because it's never been released over here.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where you hear a name, don't you? And you think, is that it? There's a few movies out there that you think that you hear the name all the time, but you never get to see. And you wonder if so that's the room there.
No, I've never even seen that. Never seen that before.
And it is meant to be awful. It's got 3.6 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database, which I think is about 3.5 too much. So yeah, so if you tell us if that is the room that we're talking about, that'd be great. Dig Films, Mike's DVD and Blu-ray collection. Hello guys. Hello, I'm going to say hello, Mike.
Hello.
Right. Gary Darnell says Mary Whitehouse had a great taste in horror movies, and she even went out and put all the best ones on a list for us. What a helpful lady. Yeah. God bless Mary Whitehouse.
Yeah, she did. We just didn't realise it at the time, though.
No, she was like, we should have just said, like, literally on the panels she used to like go on to. She said, "Cheers, Mary. Thanks a lot." Like, have a list afterwards and go, "Thanks for talking about them for 2 hours. We'll just go out and watch them all now on your recommendation." That's a good point, mate. The monkey says, "Sophie, you never need to. People need to just let Sophie be Sophie." Yes, Sophie should always be Sophie. Now, Dean says Extra was a classic. Have you seen Extra?
Once in the 80s when it was still out there on video.
Yeah.
I do want to get it one day, but I do remember when I watched it, I hated it. Right. Well, you know what I think of science fiction anyway.
You were saying that if you see something that's like science fictionary, it's going to sometimes put you off the movie. Yeah,
but when I seen it, I do remember it being it was weird.
It is a weird movie, actually. It's weirder than you would think.
But I remember when I found out it had been put on the list, I was like, "You are joking." But
it was.
I know it's out on Blu-ray, but I think you talked about it. You said that it come out in like a big, fancy box set.
It did, but that went straight away. That I only ever saw one of them in HMV, and I thought, I'll get that next week. Gone. And it's stupid money, so you can get it on. What's it called? Second Sight now. It's just a regular thing. That's what I've got. It's only like £8. It's easy to get. You get 3 cuts of the movie as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you do. And I'm going to obviously.
Can you hear that?
Eh?
Can you hear that screeching? It's the dog dreaming. Can you go outside and do that?
But yeah, I would recommend try getting.
I'll give it another go because I'm gonna want it because I'm trying to get as many of them as I can.
It's on the list, isn't it? Kind of. What is it on the list? It's on the 3rd. It's on section 3.
I think it's on 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Monkey says need a typo. I know when I write texts out, mine are so I can't see what I'm putting in. Mine just look complete shambles.
Did you hear that?
I did. I think he's joining in on the stream.
Simba man, what are you doing?
So Tin the Blue says, Cannibal Holocaust has a challenging soundtrack. House on the Edge of the Park has one hot diggity soundtrack. Yeah, it was in it like funky.
House on the Edge of the Park. That's the David Hess one.
Yeah. Actually, if I'm honest,
they released that on a gorgeous coloured vinyl, and I stupidly didn't get it.
It's got the soundtrack in here, you know.
It's got the same cover as that slipcase.
Well, this one.
Yeah, the vinyl's got that cover.
Yeah, it has got a CD. It's got a CD soundtrack there.
Ah.
Yeah. Because you've got this, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't remember the CD being there. It must be there.
Oh, yeah. So there you
go. I watched the Diodato documentary, though. That was good.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it, actually. It looked really good. But yeah, it has got a funky soundtrack, hasn't it? Some of these ones are so 80s disco. It's crazy, isn't it, when you put it in the mix of this whole, you're going to watch this horrific movie, and it's like a disco movie, disco theme tune.
I wonder if they're thinking it's a challenging soundtrack for the same reasons I am.
So you were saying
the images when you hear it, you just can't help but think of those.
Well, you know the one that's the music that's played over the turtle scene. I mean, I wouldn't want to listen to that music separately. I would skip past that one. I probably
The
only listen
music.
to, yeah, I probably listen to a couple of the theme tune and another sort of bit of music from it. I think it's more like a sort of it's a bit like a disco, like a jungle beat disco thing that they've got in it.
Yeah.
But the other ones, the really kind of ones where you know exactly what's happening when that music's playing, I don't really need to go to them ones.
The thing is, that music they use for the turtle, they also used it in quite a few other scenes as well.
Yeah, I know.
And I think it pops up a few times on the soundtrack, not just once. So
Yeah.
when it's on vinyl, I just play this thing right through. I mean, it doesn't get me that bad where I think I feel sick now. I don't want to do it. Nothing like that. It would have at one point, but it's a really, really good soundtrack. It's just the images you get in your head because of it. That's what it is with me.
But it's because you can't help thinking about it, can you? It's because it's one of them things. Even if you watched it once, you would never forget them scenes, would you? Not at all. So Trav says, which video Nasties cover made you want to watch it, but the film didn't live up to the cover?
That's a good question.
I'm definitely going to go to on my first watch of the Driller Killer.
I was just going to say the same one.
Yeah. It just, I thought, oh, this is going to be wall-to-wall violence, and it's not, mind. But I do like the movie now. When I watched it recently, I watched the Arrow one, which is a lovely print. And it's much brighter because it was too dark on VHS. Couldn't see what was going on at all.
Yeah.
But I think there's a few, actually. There's a few that have got, like, misleading pictures on it. Trying to look. I think Blood Feast might be one of them if you were thinking title Blood Feast, you didn't know it's from 1963, and you put it on and you looked at it and you thought, what? If you weren't into bad
at the time, I bet people were going out throwing up and fainting and all sorts.
Oh, in 63, yeah. I could imagine it.
But what's supposed to be a severed leg is clearly a mannequin's leg.
Yeah.
It's that bad, but at the time, it was like, there was nothing else like it, was there?
No, it was breaking all the taboos. It was not really blood, really, was there, in movies before that? This was just wall-to-wall blood, wasn't it? Well, paint, red paint. Very noticeable red paint, wasn't it?
I've got to say, though, if anybody's been curious about Blood Feast, if you haven't seen it, hunt it down and watch it. Well, I personally love it, but I can understand people saying, what a pile of cack. But no, take it for what it is, because it was made in the early 60s.
63, yeah.
Which is that's only 3 years after Psycho. And there was no blood or anything like that. So it was like he really stretched the boundaries at the time. But although it's only on for about an hour and 10, it's quite a slow moving thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what is really slow moving about it, which I'm not going to give any spoilers away by saying this. Remember the chase scene when the coppers are chasing the blood? Yeah. And it's the slowest chase ever. He's got a gammy leg, so he's hobbling away from these two blokes chasing.
Yeah, and he's running faster than the coppers.
They've got guns that can shoot him at any time, and he's just like hobbling away, and it takes hours for them to. So yeah,
it's worth watching for the acting.
Oh, yeah, it's and the thing when you think about it though, right, and you know that most of it's like laughable now. But when you've got things where you're seeing there's people getting their eyes ripped out, like with a knife. People are getting their tongues cut off, legs cut off, so it's disemboweled. It's pretty extreme if you think about it. If you hadn't seen that sort of thing at all.
That's what I can imagine it back in the day, watching it for the first time.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I bet there was absolute hell on over it.
I could imagine.
And have you seen him interviewed? He seems like one of the nicest blokes.
He's always laughing about them as well. He does always says this is a bit of rubbish, mind. He never
God rest his soul.
Yeah. Oh, he was a really good bloke, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could listen to him getting interviewed anytime, So Nick Hornby, anything by Goblin? Yeah. I think they're pretty much
what he likes, or do I have?
The
answer is yes to both.
Yes, yes. I've got to imagine you would think yes to both. Yeah. So what have you got with Goblin? Yes, we think Goblin are great. So what have you got by Goblin? Would you say, Nige?
I've got Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I've got something here as well. Did they do that? No, they didn't do Phenomena, did they?
No, they didn't actually. Funny enough, was it what's his name? That fellow who plays the keyboards. I think he's dead
Keith
now.
Emerson.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Which is an odd one because I think was it just a Goblin that
Oh
Goblin
no,
had
Keith
just
Emerson did Inferno.
Oh, right. Because Goblin had split up for that. That's right. And maybe it was just is it Claudio Simonetti?
They didn't do Tenebrae either. I thought they did that.
All right.
I'm sure I got something out by Goblin. Oh, Profondo. Deep Red.
The best one for me. Look at that.
That's Goblin, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic soundtrack, that.
Mm.
Very sexy vinyl as well.
So
I'll probably go into them more, when we go through the titles and stuff. I'll show some of them as well, what I've got.
This is something that's going to come up in other sections. We'll get more of a plan for the actual, when we'll talk about the movies. And if we get a movie that could be linked into that vinyl, bring vinyl out, we'll talk about vinyl. Well, Nigel will talk about vinyl because he's got it all. I've got nothing. I might have something to do with it, but nothing like that. Mine is not collectible in any way, shape, or form. I've got the Blu-rays and stuff like that, or some of them. But and then obviously we'll be bringing out like the rarer things that you can maybe struggle to find, or maybe the things that are dead easy to find. You might be able to just literally walk to a shop and buy some stuff. Maybe even a movie that, like say, Blood Feast, for instance, that was a champion Blood Feast all of a sudden, but that could be something that you could look for easily in Arrow. I've got it, and be aware that it's not ultraviolet. Well, it is ultraviolet, but it's just ultra cheap, but ultra enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
So DVD and Film Blog said, I wonder if anyone is mad enough to track down all the original pre-cert video nasties. I bet it's been done,
There's quite a few. I've seen them on YouTube.
That,
and there's some like some of them have like 2 and 3 copies of one film. That is mental.
The things that we watched, the documentaries that we got, the 2 documentaries, which was about on the DVD from Nucleus, and when they're getting interviewed, you can see all the movies behind them on that turn. Slot. So obviously somebody somewhere in this whole thing has got a big stash of them on the videotapes. You can see them, can't you?
I'm glad you've said that. That's what I was going to say. If anybody's like wanting to know anything about video nasties or thinking of collecting them, I started with these. These are like your Bible, really. Yeah. Video Nasties, the definitive guide. It's a 3-disc set. There's a documentary on, goes through the whole Mary Whitehouse thing. Have you got these, John?
Yeah, brilliant.
And then you get like another 2 discs, and it goes through every title and shows you all the trailers. And like, there's these 4 guys who I know who I can think of on there. There's a lad called Mark Morris, and there's a part 2. He's actually autographed this one. Wow. Alan Jones, who's the baldy fella, he used to work for. Who originally released Tenebrae? Was it Vampix or something like that? Or there's one of the video companies he used to work for, and he also knew Sid Vicious personally. That fella.
Well, he used to work in a shop, didn't he? He used to work in a sex shop with.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. Because the picture you've seen with what you call again? Well, Jordan and what you call man, Vivian Westwood, and if you got the clan of them together, he's always in them. You can see him.
Alan Jones is?
Yeah, he definitely is. I'll get you a photograph. Any photograph I do of that thing, I'll have him in this picture. If he's got any clothes on, it was a bit.
And the other 2 are Stephen Thrower, who he's massive on Jess Franco.
He is,
and Kim Newman, the one with the long hair. And they certainly know their stuff.
They do.
But that first DVD set deals with the section 1 and 2, and that one has got the documentary, the Draconian Years, and has the section 3. You've got to watch it. I've watched these about 5 or 6 times each. I'll never get bored of them. I love them.
I'll have to be careful when I show this, but because some of the pictures are a bit weird. But
Woohoo!
there's this. There's Steve Jones. There.
Oh God, yeah. There's Alan Thingy.
There he is. There.
Yeah.
But when you see, if you look in the photographs, you'll see him on practically every single photograph, and he was big in that scene, shall we say, the Bromley contingent or whatever they're called. So yeah, he's been around, mate.
Bloody hell! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder how we knew him.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? He's got like he seemed to be one of them people who's like he's been everywhere and met every single person. He was just probably in the right place at the right time.
He's friends with Dario Argento as well.
Oh, he's big friends with him, isn't he?
Makes you sick, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Is he not? He's not a godparent to one of his daughters or something like that. I think he is.
Good God.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he is. And but yeah, so it's amazing, isn't it? These sort of connections that they've got.
Yeah.
Like proper connections. But I do think that there's I might after this I might go and have a look and just type it into YouTube and see like complete Video Nasties VHS collection. Because there's got to be someone there somewhere.
You can get the odd title on eBay, but you've got to be prepared to pay for them. That's why it's not a thing I'm going to even start.
I think
but it has been done.
There
is some people who've actually got them.
Yeah, if I ever got any money sometime, something like that, I'm not a gambler or anything, but if I got some money, I might just try it. I might just do one and get one. But
they're sitting on little gold, man. Whoever's got them all, mind.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're talking. How much do you think you could? You'd probably sell for like 5,000 plus easy for the whole lot, even more. Would you think?
What's that?
I'm saying you could probably sell the whole lot for well over 5,000 if you wanted to.
Oh, I would have thought so. Yeah.
So it is a go.
Probably
and I think,
more.
to be honest, even if they didn't work too well, even if they were moldy or they were snapped or the tape was wrecked, you still got a pretty much. It's because of the box, the cover would be worth something.
I think it's so valuable is because it's the actual item that was there and went through it at the time.
Yeah, I know.
Whereas we're more for the Blu-rays and stuff. They've just like been pressed recently. These are actually were there back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to pay that. I can't afford them. Ridiculous.
No, I think it would be one of them ones where you would waste you would waste a lot of money on it because you would never pay it. It would just be there to just show somebody. I'll show it on YouTube, and then what else are you going to do with it? Not a lot. I like things.
There's nothing you can do, is there?
Things I'm going to use, even maybe not the same, not at that point, but you're going to use them in the future, or get a lot of pleasure out of like your vinyl and stuff like that. So Richard Vousen says, theme for Cannibal Holocaust, love it. Yeah, I do. I think it's such a good, and put it this way, you could put it on and nobody would ever know you were listening to something that was from one of the most controversial films of all time. So Gary Darnell says, City of the Living Dead has a great soundtrack. Good luck finding a copy though.
I've got that on vinyl.
Well, there you go, Gary. There's the copy right there.
Mission accomplished. There you go.
Oh, can I do it? There. No, there.
Where's me ladders?
Where's me ladders? Where's me slip covers? DVD and Film Bloke says pre-cert Nasties that only VHS tapes that are actually worth anything. I hate to break that some people, but Disney tapes are not worth anything. Yeah, there was a time when Disney tapes were like the thing that was meant to be the one that was like everyone needed to get a summit. But
with the Disney ones though, I think it's one particular edition. It's like really early rental copies.
Yeah, it's one of the, it's a funny one because of the whole I
do have the original very, very first pre-certificate. It's actually an A on CIC of Jaws and Jaws 2.
Yeah, I know. He is like if you talk to somebody when you say it's an A or double A, it's just it just nobody knows, do they?
No,
So that is so basically an A. What would you say that was a PG?
A is a PG, yeah.
Yeah, and a double A was a 15.
Double A was a 15.
Yeah.
And X was 18.
Uh-huh.
And I feel old.
I was talking to somebody in the States on a comment one time, and I mentioned about the fact that American Werewolf in London was the first X-rated movie I saw, and this guy says, "Oh, I didn't know that that American Werewolf in London had such a high rating, like X certificate, because he thought it was like what the X certificate meant over there, which is like basically your Frankie Vaughns." So
Yeah, filth.
I says, no, I says that's what we had. We had the X certificate for that. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There was just those four: U, A, double A, and X. And
That was it.
It was good to go into an X certificate movie. You felt, oh, this is it.
I never got to go for one.
Oh, really?
No, the first one I went. Oh God, what was the first? The first time I went to see a 18 film, it'll have been. It must have been Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. I was 16. So by then, same year, 84, but it had all changed. There was no X anymore.
Well, I went to see Mountain Werewolf, which was X at the time. That was in 81, wasn't it? So just creeped in and just me and my mate went in the afternoon and just said, look, so they just said, are you 18? Trying to put in a voice, but we must have obviously looked like school kids. I mean, still had school tie on. Still have a school bag. Oh, yeah, 18. I just like AC/DC. So Turn the Blue Eye says at Double Bill Movies, don't think it was a nasty, but Shriek of the Mutilated seems to promise so much. You ever heard of that one, Nige?
Never heard of it.
No, me neither. No, Shriek of the Mutilated. No. Never seen that one, but it's a title you think, oh, that's got to be good.
Yeah, it sounds intriguing.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Turn the Blue Eye says, the Beyond soundtrack, which is something.
I can't remember that I've got that on vinyl, but I think you got the CD in with the Blu-ray.
Yes, you did, didn't you? On Greenhouse, yeah. So Brian says, hi, guys. Hi, Brian. You all right?
Hey, up.
And Mac Chat says, lads, how do?
How do?
You all right, Mac? Cy Robson says, was Bogeyman really a Section 1? It was always on the shelf video shop.
I think it was a Section 2.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was one that I can remember seeing on the shelves, and I think I got it out actually, but I can't remember seeing it much after the because I think I went to the video shops just about the time when the band started, so I saw them or some of them in the shop. I thought, oh, that'll be great to get when I find somewhere that'll believe that I'm that age, because someone used to check you. Not many did, and then by the time I got around to them, they were away. So, but I remember seeing the Bogeyman a couple of times. I remember seeing Driller Killer, but I didn't have the bottle to go and ask for because I knew that was one of the ones where people are definitely age checkers for that one. I had no ID at all. He didn't have ID. The only ID I had was to make his look, was to say that I'm like a kid. There was nothing else. My bus pass, which was now I was like 14 or something, so I couldn't have got away with that. And the idea, my bus pass, I'm 24. It's like scratched on a 2, 24, like stuck a tash on. Right, I'm just getting up to where I'm. Sometimes the comments just flip a little bit and you think, hang on a minute, where am I? Yeah, right, back there. And Turn the Blue Iris says, Zombie Flesh Eater soundtrack was on Blue Underground Blu-ray, I think. Yes. Yeah, it was. So you've got the soundtrack on the CD to the movie, haven't you? The Blue Underground Blu-ray? I'm sure you would have with that lenticular cover.
Possibly. I know I've got it on vinyl. I'll have a look, see if it's in. It does say 3 discs, so
I'm sure it is. Usually when you get a lenticular,
yes, it says compact disc, so yeah, it is in.
Because it wasn't in the 4K. Unfortunately, I was a bit sick about, but like, just one of them things in it. You just, you know.
I opted for the lenticulars rather than getting the 4K because I thought this so snazzy. But it seems to be now that some of the Blue Underground 4Ks, I mean, it's a 4K scan that, but some of their 4Ks now are having the lenticular covers like the one I was talking about with you earlier, Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, something's to come out. I mean, I mean, the cover on Zombie's great, but I just would like them to put the soundtrack in as well because it wasn't cheap. So it'd be nice to get that little bit added extra, but, you know, you can't force them to, can you? Because I think there was a lot of people complain about the fact that they just released that one that you have, and then they put the pure 4K out, and people saying, hang on a minute. But then they says, oh, well, if you've got that release, you've got like a better release for the lenticular and also the CD soundtrack. So you've got something a bit exclusive. I think it was a soften the blow, actually, on the fact of missing out. I think they put the same one out as a 4K. People that went off it.
They're not daft, are they?
Well, they're not, are they?
They just think we all are. Well, we are for buying them all the time.
Well, Arrow do it now, but I think from the backlash, I think that Blue Underground are not really going down that way too much like they did. I think they've not learned a lesson, but I think they've seen how people react to some of the Arrow stuff. Literally just months later, it comes out in pure 4K in exactly the same package, which is
yeah.
I'll never buy it.
It's not fair, really.
No, say if they went and released Inferno in a nice Blu-ray, but a 4K scan Blu-ray box set, wouldn't touch it with a barge pole because I know that a 4K will come out in about 6 months' time.
Give Second Sight their due. They did both, and they give you the option.
Yeah.
When they did Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
They did the same monster box set in Blu-ray and in 4K, so you could pick.
Yeah. I think they sort of
and both sold out.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think because people knew they were getting what they wanted and it didn't feel ripped off at all. I know it was quite expensive, but
the green one.
And then you
I got the Blu-ray box set for that, but then when they released the single one, like with the red slipcase, I got the 4K for that.
All right, yeah, that was even that one's a nice one, wasn't it? It was a nice release.
It is.
Because Arrow, when they do the standard version, it's just basically a case and the disc, and they still charge you 25 quid. And I'm like, no, that's what I would say. I wouldn't say that was a good deal at all. Should be.
Oh, the Arrow did the window one, didn't they? I've got that as well. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, right. So you got the window one of Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Dawn of the Dead, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, yes, I had that one, but I sold it to get me drum kit. Brian says Cannibal Holocaust is almost uncut in the UK. Yeah. Have you seen
so I've read. I think that scene that you don't like, the little muskrat thing, I'm sure. I don't know if it's true, but I'm sure I read somewhere that's the only missing scene now. I thought they've let that turtle thing through.
Well, what they've done is, yes, they've took the muskrat out. That's gone completely. Fair enough. Then they've done the turtle scene and they've put the turtle scene is in there, but they've remixed it. Now, you might think, what does that mean? But they've remixed it in a way. Now, I knew what was coming in the turtle scene. I knew when not to look. Obviously, I'm not looking at the screen for quite a long time. But I knew when to avert my eyes. Now, when they've remixed it, they were I thought it was done with it, and you were seeing other little bits, then other little bits. And I think the remix of it is even worse. It makes it look worse than the one that's the original one. I'll tell you off this stream what was the bit that freaked me out about that. But I don't recommend you getting that one because it's cut, and also the turtle scene looks, the way that they've remixed it is not right. It's awful, more awful if that.
God, is that possible?
It is. When I tell you what happens, yeah, it is, and you'll agree with us, I'm sure. If anybody knows, you'll know. You know what I'm talking about. So this is we're just talking about this spammer in here that got kicked off. I kicked them off. So and they were called something to do with cheese was the name. So, but they're gone.
Oh,
So that, yeah. That.
I'll
So
bite my
Lenny
tongue.
Nero. All right, Lenny. I still have no idea what this video Nasties is all about. Just some C-grade horror films on VHS that were all hurled into this made-up category in the UK? Question mark. Well, I know that Lenny comes from he comes from around about Russia, and I do think that it's funny because it never happened anywhere else, did it? It happened
No.
here. It was
Just
a
here.
yeah. So strangely enough, and what you're writing, what you're thinking, some of these titles were, because some of them were just, they had a name like Cannibal Man, or put that on it, and there's nothing in Cannibal
There's
Man,
no
is there?
cannibalism in it whatsoever.
Not at all, not at all. So for me, that movie shouldn't have been on there at all, but they had the word cannibal in it. So they just got this, we're talking about Mary Whitehouse, and people have just said, right, them must be bad because the covers are bad. So they're just gone. And we had to fight, well, kind of did, for years and years to try and see them. So it was a bit of a sort of, but when you're fighting against the powers that be, you can't really change it, can you, until it gets changed?
No.
Yeah. So it was a big thing. But if you weren't in this country or anything, if it didn't happen like our country, you'd probably be hard to understand that people would say, wow, you couldn't do that. You couldn't watch this. It seems daft when you look back on it, actually, but yeah.
I think the biggest thing was, as well as Mary Whitehouse kicking off, it was basically because when videos first come out over here, they weren't like certificated, like the censors getting them and putting them on the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had X on and A and stuff on some of them, but not all. So anything was getting brought into the country and released on video, and it was just unclassified, and anybody could go to the shop and rent it. You just to get a horror film, yeah, and all these obscure things. I mean, until then, we wouldn't have even seen Cannibal Holocaust or Driller Killer or anything like that. And the fact that these politicians probably picked up the odd rumor that kids were starting to watch these things at parties instead of the clown coming, they were watching these video nasties.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done, or they're all going to end up like killing each other and all this. And that was how it started. So they picked out the ones that they thought.
Yeah.
This is a reminder. Take atorvastatin. This is a reminder. Take atorvastatin.
Are you done?
Is that for the dog?
Not for me torvastatin thing. So that they thought like all these kids are going to go and rent them, so they were like, we've got to get them, but it's the ones that they picked out. And then how they got them banned is they got the worst of the worst. So they got like Cannibal Holocaust, Driller Killer, the drilling scene, the Eye from Zombie or Zombie Flesh Eaters, and all the other ones. Put them all together on one tape, took them into the House of Parliament, played it. No wonder they banned them.
Yeah. Oh,
but it was all a big thing for them as well.
Of course.
So that's what it was. It wasn't like, let's get these load of crap films and just like stick them all on the list. It was politicians who did it. And it was actually illegal the way they did it. If you watch that,
yeah,
the documentary on it is brilliant. The guy on it who's talking about it with the beard, you'll hear why they were banned, and there was absolute hell on it. It's absolutely ridiculous because like the figures they were coming out with for these kids who allegedly this percentage of children who'd watch them, it was all crap. It was doctored.
Of course it was, but they had to sort of justify what they were doing, and it was all, well, politicians lie for a living, but it was the fact that it was just taken out of context. But of course, but how could it, when the public saw this and it was on over all the newspapers, so you automatically parents would think, oh, this is terrible, and it was just like totally knee-jerk reactions. So, but it was a huge thing. It was
it was massive. Like I said, people did time, people went to prison, got fines. But it's stuff that comes out now, they'd have had a heart failure if all that had come out in the 80s. It's far worse.
Yeah, you're right. There's some things that you think they wouldn't even put in a video nasty. That extreme, and you think even a video nasty would have shied away from it. And you think, but like sometimes they're classed as like art as well. You know,
Yeah.
some of these really violent films, which is crazy, isn't it?
And like when we said earlier, it went into the 90s.
Mhm.
It only really lifted when the head of the BBFC, James Furman, retired. As soon as he retired, the next guy came in. As soon as he came in, Exorcist was out straight away.
He relaxed the
Uncut.
laws, didn't he? Yeah, I think he knew it
I
was
think
a
Evil
bit.
Dead was re-released uncut.
Because it was really butchered, wasn't it, until then?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, and like that and Exorcist weren't even classed as nasties, but they banned them anyway.
Yeah, there were as well. We'll get into that down the line, won't we, about the fact that these movies that like everyone assumed they were banned, but they weren't.
Yeah,
They just were
and they
kind
weren't.
of they would try and put them out again. They would just say no, so they would just couldn't get back in on the shelves. They were just refused even before they were even. They would like more or less don't come to us with that movie because they didn't bother. So a lot of movies went kind of obscured into obscurity for a little bit, didn't they? And you were just
One of
like,
the Fulci ones, it got through. They watched it, turned it round and kicked it straight back out of the country again. It was New York Ripper. They just wouldn't give it a certificate.
yeah.
You can get it now, but it's cut.
It is, and that's why we can't understand why this one can come out, because there's certain things that the censors now don't even like, and they don't like
SA on women.
Yes, so this is the thing, and that's full of it. So you think, wow, but there again, I mean, I'd be very interested to know. I mean, it's coming out in 4K as well, and this is a 4K scan.
Yeah.
So they know they've got the elements for it, but
it's actually a 4K disc.
No, it's a 4K scan.
The one that's coming out.
Yes, so it's a 4K disc. Aye.
Are you going to double?
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah, we'll definitely. Well,
Yeah,
I've got to find
then.
out if it is. It's got to be uncut though. If it's not, I'll stick with this one. I mean, I'm keeping this one. I'm not going to get rid of it. It's great.
God, yeah.
But yeah. So if it's true and that they do, everyone like from 88 are saying it's true. We've got it out. We've done it. There you go.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh yeah, I'll believe it when I hear somebody saying yes, this is the full uncut version, and that I'll take it from that. So
because if that's going to be uncut, then there's no reason why I Spit in Your Grave can't be.
Yes, and I do think the New York Ripper could come out on the back of that one. I don't, because it is bad, but it's not. I don't know which would you say is the worst. Would you say House on the Edge of the Park or New York Ripper is the worst out of the two?
I would say New York Ripper, mainly for the violence. That scene with the razor blade, wow.
But it's got one of them in here as well. But it's more in than that one. New York Ripper's more,
It's brutal in New York Ripper.
Yeah, it is. It's more intense than in that one. But it's still, I know what you're saying. But I just thought that if that's implied or even in it, it's just an instant no.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be at this point. Wow. So the horror section says, "Hi guys, what are we discussing?" Well, I've been talking to the horror section in Instagram actually, but what we're discussing is it's what it says on the tin, Video Nasties. This is what it's all about in this one. This is to bring you up to speed. This is the introduction to the fact that we are going to now do. This is a series, and it's just a really sort of us breaking the ice, as it were. And Nige, this is your first ever live stream, and how are you finding it at the moment? Is it okay for you?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it actually. Yeah,
it's great.
It's been a lot easier than I thought it was going to.
It's funny, isn't it, when you haven't done one and you're not doing it, and then you think of it, you think, wow, it's going to be something different. But we've had a chat like this a few times. It's just really like that. It's just us talking to each other in it with comments from people watching. So it's pretty good, I think. And you never know what's going to come on your next comments. So this is the best thing about.
I'm loving the questions because I honestly didn't expect people to be asking as many as what they have. So
well, we've got loads of people watching, and we've got lots of people commenting. So it's all good.
Great stuff.
It's and that's what we wanted. We wanted people to be coming along and to enjoy it, and because we hoped it would be something that would connect with people, because we do know that there's a lot of people out there that like this stuff, and it doesn't seem to get talked about. It gets talked about in videos to a certain extent, but there never seems to be anything dedicated the video nasties, we thought.
No, it's like touched upon, and that's about it, really.
Yeah. So I thought it's about time that we got something dedicated to video nasties. And there's nothing bad about new films. We're not dissing anything. We just want to focus on this this kind of purely British strangeness that happened, because we know
only an old blighty.
So DVD and Film Bloke says and a lot of animal cruelty is gone. So that must be the Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
I think, well, like I say, the one that's definitely gone is the one is the bit that I think is the worst bit. And the turtle scene is, like I say, remixed to not show as much as it should do, but the way they've remixed it is that I see more than I thought I was going to see, which is wrong, really, because I thought I'll just see a few bits of it. It'll be implied. You see a lot more than you thought you was going to see. That's the kind of way that I put that on for that. Turn the Blue Rider says, Lenny Nero, pretty sure all the categories are made up. I don't know what he means by that. It must mean that maybe the people made all this this thing up. You know, the what's it called? The people when they put the video nasties, the people who were against it would have made the categories up for, like, say, or you know, like the violence and stuff like that. I think
the DPP people.
Yes, them ones. I think they. I think that's what he's getting at. That these are the categories of that are made up by somebody else. I think might have to explain that one or embellish on it. Big word there. Where's me ladders? Pro Physical Media says, hi fellas, just joining. 7:25 timestamp for reference. Now that's good to actually do that. So
you've got most of it.
When
up to
Nos
now
is put that comment on, it was 25 minutes past 7.
Oh,
yeah. So that's good actually. That shows you how far behind we are with the comments. That's a good sort of thing for me to start. I'll try and go through a few. We'll try and get a bit. We'll do some quick fire ones. We'll call it. So that's the horror section video nasties. Brian says, I've got Cannibal Holocaust on DVD by Blue Underground. Yeah. So what's
did they release it?
I think they did. You know, I think I remember that actually. I know I've got it UK Blu-ray, but a UK DVD. I'm trying to think who it was of, but it's got to.
If it's Blue Underground, that'll be uncut.
Oh yeah, definitely, it's got to be. Because I've seen it. The only times I've seen it, it's always been uncut. I don't know where I've seen it. I've never seen it on tape. But then again, I got the DVD on the UK DVD, and that was actually cut. But I don't think I ever watched that one.
The picture on that Grindhouse Blu-ray, it's pretty stunning, like.
Oh yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a bit too stunning for the animal scenes. That's all.
You know, our section says a cracking 3-disc edition of Cannibal Holocaust, same as John, I believe. Yeah, the Grindhouse.
That's the one we've both got. Yeah.
So that's it is. If you want to have the zenith of that movie, get that one.
Definitely.
Cut your losses and go for that one. I'd have heard there's a 4K coming out of it though.
I was just going to say to you there, if that comes out on 4K, I don't think I want it.
Well,
I'll stick with the one I've got, thanks.
If I'm honest, if the 4K has the option to do the animal free, and it's got a nice package, I might be tempted. But if the 4K is purely the animal stuff, I could leave that. Like, it may be just a little bit too.
The thing is, though, to upgrade to 4K, if you're going to cut all the bits out, don't you find that a bit of a waste?
I know what you're saying. I might have to watch it fully once and then.
Because if it's been done in 4K, you'd want to see it all the way through, as bad as it is.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. But it's a funny one, that. But I'm pretty sure there's a 4K coming out of it somewhere.
Who would release it though?
I don't know. I don't know if Grindhouse do.
Can't see Grindhouse doing a 4K.
I don't think it's their thing. I've never seen them do a 4K before. But then again, people are going to buy it, so it won't be UK anyway. So there's that.
No, definitely not.
Mark Chat says The Werewolf and the Yeti and Women Behind Bars are the only two I haven't seen. Can't find the movies. Yeah, I know. I don't mind swearing.
No, I haven't seen either of them actually.
Yet.
Women Behind Bars, I think that's a section 2 or 3.
I've seen Women Behind Bars. It was awful. It was one of the. It's Jess Franco, I believe, is it?
Just garbage awful, you mean?
Yeah, just pointless. It's like
I was going to say it's another Franco one.
Yeah, no Prison in Cell Block H, just with sleaze in it. That's it.
Guilty pleasure. I used to love that program.
Did you? Oh, I didn't.
Yes, I probably like that.
Yeah, me too. But I remember watching it and thinking, "What on earth am I watching here?" It was really bad. I found.
I'm more intrigued to know why was a werewolf / Yeti film banned. What's that bad in it?
I think, if I'm right in thinking, I'm sure John Hall told us this one time. I think it's got to do with somebody's getting either there's some animals fighting in it, or there's somebody getting disemboweled. There's a lot of disemboweling going on.
Oh, nice.
I think that's why it is. I believe, but I could be wrong.
Well, that's one to watch while you're having your tea, isn't it?
Oh yes, definitely. It's not something you put on when you watch it. You get your tea out and you just say to yourself, "Oh, I think I'm going to put Cannibal Holocaust on." You know.
Well, eat me lasagna. Oh.
So the Blu-ray says at the horror section, my Grindhouse Blu-ray got disc rot, ate itself.
No way.
I know. So that wasn't animal free, was it? That wasn't animal free. Clearly. Maiden England says you're talking about Fight for Your Life. Just tune in.
We have done.
Yes, we have done. Yeah,
we will be going into it more when we do the section 1, though.
That's it. If you think that we're going past some of these movies, this is kind of like the introduction and finding out what people are sort of like talking about and stuff like that. But these ones will be done in depth to the best of our knowledge down the line, because we've got a good knowledge of them. We've seen most of them. We might have copies of most of them, so we can always wade in about what we think of them. So we're going to say maybe obviously we'll go alphabetically through the section 1 when we started off, and that probably first one is going to be Anthropophagus. Probably is the first one we'll probably talk about on the A's. So then we'll be talking about that for a bit. So we'll get to all of these movies, and but we don't know how long you talk for on Anthro. It might maybe not very long or a bit more longer than you think. So that's how that's going to sort of go, we think.
There's a few being mentioned, hasn't there, that people want us to talk about more?
Yeah, and
like Fight for Your Life there. So there's what that. I mean, I'll willingly watch that again. I love that film. And somebody mentioned a couple earlier on, but I thought, yeah, we will be going through them all anyway.
Yeah, and there'll be some ones where we think if they're going to come up and you haven't really watched them recently, you would watch them for that particular stream, and you'd say, well, we'll get fresh with a couple of them. I will be watching Fight for Your Life again. I have got that.
Oh, God, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So
out of the 39 of section 1, is there any you haven't actually seen?
Well, I've got 39 here. I'll very quickly go through. I think there is definitely ones I haven't seen, if I can read it. I haven't seen Ghastly Ones. I haven't seen that one. I know we've got that one.
You haven't seen what?
The Ghastly Ones. Your favourite? So yeah, I haven't seen.
Wait till you see it.
Yeah, I'd look at. I like bad movies, so I'm quite thinking I would watch it. Well, I will watch it because it's on here. There's not a great deal I haven't seen. Forest of Fear. I haven't seen Forest of Fear.
I've got that. Toxic Zombies. Yeah. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
They've done I can't remember, it's a 2 or a 4K scan, but your pet hates. They haven't cleaned it up. So it's still got all the icky freckle. But to me, that adds to it.
Yeah, I can watch these ones that are a little bit like that. What I don't like is maybe if I know there's a really clean one out somewhere and somebody doesn't put it out, and I think, oh, it's a bit lazy, like Zombie Lake. I know there's a clean Zombie Lake out there, but the Redemption Blu-ray is like got loads of speckles on it.
I think Toxic Zombies, or what's it called on the list? Forest of Fear.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, what a pile of crap of that." I think you'd like it. I loved it a lot more than what I thought I was going to. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's cheaply made, but to me, it wasn't. Like some of them, you think, "Oh God, this is like taking ages." I was watching it all the way through. I loved it. Yeah. I think you'd like it.
I think I would actually. Yeah, it sounds good actually. Yeah, so I'm interested in that one definitely, and I think there's only maybe Love Camp 7. I haven't seen that one. You've seen that one, haven't you?
I've got that. Yeah, it's disappointing.
Right.
Gestapo's Last Orgy was far better of a film. You thought that was disturbing, that didn't you?
There was a few bits in it that I was kind of struggling with.
I thought like the thought of it, I was like, oh wow, but like when I was watching your review of it, I was thinking, God Almighty, he's looked really disturbed by this, and I thought the animal ones are far worse. But I just thought it was a good film. I thought it was well acted as well.
It was well made. It was
definitely.
It looked like a proper movie, didn't it? Not like
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I think it was
Camp 7.
The whole dinner scene from Gestapo's Last Orgy. That was what, because it went on for ages, and the way they were enjoying it, I went, this is a bit bad, a bit sick.
I think it's what they were eating, though, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And
bit naughty.
Some were enjoying it, and some were being sick with it. Ah, wow. So Mardi Gras Massacre.
I've never seen that.
You haven't seen that one, have you?
No. So
And
we'll probably be seeing that about the same time.
Yeah, because that's going to be, and then Werewolf and the Yeti, which I've told you I've got.
Never saw that.
The disc sticks, so I can't watch it. I've seen about 10 minutes of it, and it looked all right. Very low budget. Paul Nashi, you know what you're getting into with Paul Nashi movie.
There's a couple I've seen what I don't have, like Bloody Moon. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be better, but that seems to be one of them where I think I'll probably enjoy it more second time round.
I've just watched it recently and I thought it was really good.
It's a slasher. I think I like the slashers. Are my favourites.
Yeah, it's a slasher and it's got a lovely print, man. It's what I was really surprised. I know I'd seen it, but when I watched it again, I went, "Wow, this is much better than I thought it was." I think it's a Severin release, is it? Severin, yeah. Yeah. Brian, do you think I Love You, Hugs and Kisses will come on Blu-ray? It's supposed to be, isn't it?
That's what I asked you the other night.
Yeah. I'm sure it's supposed to be coming out at the end. I've heard it's definitely coming out at the end of the year. And then I've never heard another thing. So
I've never even seen a thing about it.
I'm sure. I don't know where I saw it. I don't know where I heard it. But
I even Googled it. Couldn't find anything.
I definitely saw it. Like I saw this.
Maybe didn't dream it.
I might have done. It's not meant to be the best one, but it's one of the hardest ones, isn't it? Made in England, House by the Cemetery for me.
That's a good one.
St. John says, great choice. Yeah, I agree. Love that film. Have you got the 4K, the Blue Underground 4K?
No, I got the 4K scanned Blu-ray with the lenticular, whatever that means for lenticular.
That's lenticular, isn't it?
Where's my lenticulars?
Hey, there's always a thing, isn't it? You know, you can go out with anything. Where's me? And it's but you've got to say it in that way, haven't you? Pete, Playtendo guy, Evening John and Rockgod, and evening.
Good evening, sir.
Everybody, yes. Pete, great lad. Turn the Blue Iris, that burning head at the beginning looks like a bit pumpkin-y. Or the burning head at the beginning looks a bit pumpkin-y. I think is that at the burning, in the burning, his head looks a bit big.
That burning head at the beginning looks a bit pumpkin-y. Oh, maybe when he's running out of the shack, where he's got out of bed and he runs out.
Yeah. Do you think it looks like he's got a bit It's like not
Yeah.
it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And don't forget that when we're answering these questions about the burning, probably at 7:30 we were talking about the burning. At nearly 9:30 we're not talking about the burning yet. So we've got that bit of 2 hours. So this, I can tell by that, we're going to maybe struggle to get through these comments. I'm going to try and get through them all, but we might not, because we've had a lot of interest in this. This has been very well received.
Oh, good.
We've got 40 people watching. We have had 50
Wow.
people watching. So it's not bad, is it?
No.
Good one.
It's more than I expected.
Well, you never know how these things go, because if you do a stream for a particular thing, and maybe it's a niche thing, we know it's a niche thing, not everybody knows or likes about the video nasties. And here we are talking about, and we're getting a lot of views, so it's all good. At least we know that this is something that's going to, as we progress with the series, it's going to be something that people are going to...
Definitely going to be worth doing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we would have done it anyway, but it's always nice to have people...
Wait until they see us whip our nasties out, what we've got.
Who's got the best nasties? Look at my nasties. My nasties are the best nasties.
My nasties are bigger than yours.
I think from what you've showed me, you've got the best nasties. Yeah. So yes, love Season of the Witch, says St. John. Yes, it is.
If by you mean Halloween 3, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The good thing about Halloween 3, you can watch it as a standalone movie. You don't have to watch it at all with Halloween as well. There.
It's for us. It's an absolute Halloween must, like on Halloween.
Yeah. Aye. Nos says Evening Pete. Richard Vousden says, I wonder how many video nasties have been aired on terrestrial TV. Well, here's the thing.
Not many. It depends which country you're in.
I'll tell you one I do know that's been put on. Flesh for Frankenstein was on once.
No way.
Yes, I taped it off there. I've actually got the disc, and the disc was in, I don't know if it was all, it was shown as part of a 3D season on some channel, probably Channel 4.
Wow.
And it wasn't all in 3D, but I'm sure the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes was in 3D. I know, because I taped it off there on me. I could what within the disc they copied off the TV, like instead of a video tape, you were copying on disc. A recordable DVD. I got it. And so yes, it's definitely TV.
I think Evil Dead was on once cut on telly.
I've seen Evil Dead on there, yeah. There's been I'm sure I've seen I'll tell you what more
that I know of.
Zombie Creeping Flesh was on, because I watched that one. That was on the horror channel, I think. Yeah, on the horror channel.
Would you class that as terrestrial telly?
Well, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
That's more streaming, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was on. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
To
be honest, I don't imagine many of the nasties would have been on.
No, I don't think the rest of them have. To be honest, I'm looking.
Because there's a bit of a stigma to them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would thought once. I mean, maybe the thought, oh, they've been a nasty once. Let's not even bother. You're missing a treat though. But then again, these days they never show. You don't really watch TVs for films, do you?
No.
No point. I find probably the worst time now for ever watching movies on TV is now, because it's just, what's the point?
I mainly watch YouTube and my discs. And now I've started watching some Netflix as well. I can't remember the last time I watched anything on normal telly. This is why I begrudge paying the license.
Yeah,
don't use it.
Because did you ever used to get the TV Times, look through for the movies and think, oh yeah, look at this.
Especially over Christmas.
Yeah, used to have them all planned out.
Yeah.
But now you wouldn't even bother to look at all.
First time Jaws was on ITV, it was like a massive event.
Yeah.
The streets were empty. Everybody had stayed in to watch it.
Oh, because that was the only way you could see it, wasn't it? Either that or the pictures. And it was
Sometimes
long gone
it's
at the pictures. I know. Isn't it? It's like talking about a different universe sometimes when you do this. Deviant Filmblog says Halloween 3 is great. The problem is people judged it for what it wasn't rather than what it was. Yeah.
Great point there, actually.
Yeah, massively. Brian says, have you seen Halloween Night?
No, but I want to.
I haven't. What is that? I haven't heard of it.
I did. Do you know? I recently bought a Halloween film. Can I hell remember what it was called? And I watched it. Was it that? The one I watched, it wasn't gory or anything. It was more like the one I watched. It's quite modern-ish, but it was like a sort of a TV version of Halloween. The one I watched, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is. I'll have to dig it out and let you know.
All right. No, never. Well, it's a title you think I should have heard of that, but I can't remember it. If it was a title, I haven't seen it. I know that much. Turn the Blue Rise says, Visiting Hours was shown uncut on ITV by mistake back in the day.
Yes, it was.
Remember that?
Yeah, it was. I forgot about that one. I love that film. I've only watched it the once, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like it. It's quite a decent one.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's got a good cast in it as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Isn't Linda Pearl in it?
Yes, she is. Yeah. She looks dead young, doesn't she?
Yeah, I used to have a bit of a thing for her when I was a kid.
Well, actually, she's now going out with the fella out of Dallas. You know, the one who got killed, but he didn't. Bobby, in the shower.
In what?
Bobby, you know Bobby Ewing in Dallas.
Oh, Patrick Duffy.
Yeah, they're a couple now, proper couple.
Good
I think
God.
they're even married. Just recently.
Fair play to them.
Yeah. So Pete says, even pro physical media. And horror section says, how do we get comments on the video? I think he might mean that maybe he was thinking that I hadn't read his comment out by then. And you probably know this by now. I highlight the comment when I get to it. And then that comes
We're at least an hour and a half behind by the looks of it, at least.
On the screen. So yes, that was 7:32. So I can imagine if you're still here, I hope you are. But if you're not, and you're watching this on, because you can get all this on watch, you can watch it back, can't you? Catch up, that's it. So I think that it's a thing that's, you know, maybe if you haven't done it straight, because I know that the horror section is new to YouTube. He was talking about he's just got his channel started. So good luck to him in the future putting more stuff on it. So it's always good to see somebody starting on YouTube, and you're on YouTube, but you will be starting up. Yeah,
but I'm going to start, and I have to now. You've given me homework.
Well, I have to. You have to, and you've got to do one before the next stream. So
I don't know what I'm going to do yet, like.
Remember, we can say, everyone look at that video that you did. So even Pete. Turn the Blue Riot says got bored with snuff, and
it was a chore
until years later. Yes, I think
you liked it more than I did, John. You actually quite enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but I knew exactly what I was getting into before I did. If I didn't, and I put it on without knowing anything, I saw it for what it was meant to be, I would have been really disappointed with it, because it is a bad movie, isn't it?
It was a hard watch, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yes, it is. Especially because it's not even that movie. It's not as if, say, somebody had like I don't know, Jaws, and cut the ending off, or just made their own version of the ending up. You'd feel a bit duped, wouldn't you? Well, Jaws would keep you going, but if it was an awful film with an awful ending, you would think, oh, what was it all about? So the horror section says, loved Eaten Alive. Didn't realise until near the end that it was Marilyn Burns, Sally Hardison. Yes. It's a good movie, that, actually.
And you know the little girl? There's three people turn up. One's a little girl. She's Lindsay out of the original Halloween as well.
Yes, and she's in the Beverly Hills Housewives or something like that. You know
she knocks about with them Kardashian weirdos, doesn't she?
Yeah, I know. It's not something that it's the same person, because when you look at it, you go, because Deborah said that to me, oh, that's her from there. And I went, is she in the car as well, or am I just guessing that? Because I think she was in a few of these daft little films, you know, from this time.
I've never seen that.
And it's good film.
I think she has been in quite a few things, like, as a kid.
Yeah.
So her sister's the one in Assault on Precinct 13.
Yes. You forgot to give me my sprinkles.
Yeah. I think, Mark, when I first watched it, I went,
I know that was.
Couldn't believe it.
I know he's a real maggot. That bloke who was in the ice cream van.
There we go.
Hey, we got late. Yes, it's funny how people turn up these things, and I do like Eaten Alive or Death Trap, as it's called. Nas says reputation can overhype things at times, which is a shame. I saw Raw and Inside, both French films, and was let down. Inside's meant to be. I don't know if have I got Raw. I think I've got Raw.
I haven't seen either, but I've been on and off intrigued about Raw. But something's telling me that I'm not going to like it.
Blood coming out of a nose on the cover. Is that Raw?
I'm going to kill that dog. Buggered off, thank God.
Inside's meant to be a bit of a tough watch. The monkey says, since you have both love horror, what do you both think of season 4 of Stranger Things? Rockgod will love that season the most, if he hasn't seen it. There were certain characters' death broke my heart. So I haven't seen season 4, by the way, so we'll not go too much into that. And but I think he's talking about, is it the fact that they've got Master of Puppets features in that one?
Yeah.
Aye. So
I really enjoyed it, but it was far too much overhyped. So I didn't think season 4 was as good as what I thought it was going to be. Had nobody said anything, I probably would have loved it as much as everybody else. But
yeah,
and I don't think I actually liked Eddie as much as what everybody did. And I before I watched it, I seen these people getting these T-shirts with the Hellfire Club on. I was like, what the hell's that? And I thought it was some crap band that's just started. And then I watched it and went, makes sense now.
Right.
But I will probably watch it again because I do love the program.
Yeah.
But my favorite, it's still up to now, is season 1. But yes, I did really enjoy season 4, but I just don't think it was quite as good as what people were saying. I think they overhyped it too much.
Yeah. I know you're saying that. I haven't got through to season 4 yet, but we're sort of halfway through season 2. But we're definitely.
My daughter being the worst offender for the hype of it, actually.
But I'll tell you what, I'm just knitting the toilet, if you don't mind. So if I leave you with everybody in the chat here, I'm sure you can talk for 5 minutes. If that's all right with you, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I can't really say I do anything because you've got the questions. Could do a musical interlude.
Well, actually,
I'm not going to read it.
If you want to go and do have a toilet break yourself, we can do a toilet break if you want.
No, I'm all right.
Are you all right? That's all right. You're more of a man than I am. I'll tell you that much.
Pick my records up. The dog knocked over. Idiot. Woo!
Right.
I thought Dead and Buried was section 1. It's not. It's 2.
Is it? It's quite nasty in places, that, isn't it?
Oh, love it. Love that film.
Yeah, it's really good, actually. I didn't really rate it, actually, when I first saw it, but on my recent watches, I've really, really enjoyed it.
I've got the soundtrack to that as well.
It actually is that on the Blu-ray. Sorry, I'm sure the 4K's got the CD soundtrack. I think. Could be wrong about that. So DVD and Film Bloke says some sick sword watching snuff are common.
When are we getting to the murder?
Oh,
Oh, that's in speech marks. So that's some sicko saying that while they're watching it,
yes,
thinking it's a real murder at the end. Yeah,
yeah.
I bet that's been done quite a few times.
It is actually, but I bet they're so. I mean, you can tell a mile off. It's just there's nothing real about that, is it?
No, if you look as well, without going into it too much, when it shows you the woman on the bed and the blood comes out of her mouth, if you look, you can see she's dying to laugh.
Yeah.
You see her face, she's dying to laugh.
Well, she didn't look frightened at all to me.
Well, you're not going to be either when you want to chitter your head off.
And Nos says that's most modern audiences are like that.
Comment to somebody else. I don't know what that is.
I think that's about the fact of somebody saying that's art when I get the new and all that. Like most people are just like.
I'm laughing at that next question.
I know. Right, Brian. Well, the fact is, we'll keep saying, "Where's my ladders?" If you watch my videos, and you'll see when I make a mistake, and I make plenty of them, mind. Well, if you watch the video I've got coming up, actually, funny enough, the clips I've got are just all these like my clips I've found of me messing up on YouTube and also in life in general. And when I get, remember that ice bucket challenge where people used to throw water in your face or put the water over your head? I've got me getting my ice bucket challenge in the garden now with my son with a jet wash as well. So that's going to be fun for you. So, but the ladders, the short story of that is that my colleague was just plaguing my life about this. He wanted to lend my ladders, and he kept saying when I walked in the room, he'd say, "Where's my ladders?" And I go, "They're my ladders, and I haven't brought them." So it went for ages. So it was one of them things I was just putting on a joke for the place where I worked. If somebody watched it, they would say, "Hey, him saying, 'Where's my ladders?'" But now it's progressed into when I make a mistake or something goes wrong, I'll just put the clip of him just shouting, "Where's my ladders?" So it's becoming a bit of a phrase, isn't it? So that's kind of what it means. It's a bit of a catchphrase. Turnable Virus says Michael and Roberta Finley made The Slaughter in 1974. It sat on the shelf until Alan Shackton picked it up, replaced it, and released it as snuff. Replaced the end and released it as snuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
the ending tagged on the end of it just made absolutely no sense whatsoever. It was nothing to do with the rest of the film.
No, it's like what? And then you think, so where was she in the whole film? Where were they in the whole
exactly
film?
And him who does it?
Yes. You think so? The point of that was what? You wouldn't mind. Well, not you wouldn't mind, but you would think, well, if it was the original actors recreating the roles for that, you kind of half believe it, or not half believe it. But the fact of not even coming close to it was just stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then again, it was the film was awful, but the marketing was spectacular, wasn't it?
Can you imagine a blockbuster remake being made of that
in 4K, IMAX, 3D IMAX snuff.
Oh, Jaws is coming. Jaws is coming to IMAX in 3D.
Yeah, are you going to go and see it?
I do hope so.
Yeah.
If it goes to the thingy, should we go?
Yeah.
Metro,
aye. They've got an IMAX there, haven't they? Or an IMAX.
Yeah,
screen.
that's the nearest one to me anyway, so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, Jaws is like, I've never seen it I have seen it on the big screen, but it was when it first came out. But I was going to go and see it in 2012 when it got a remaster. We're going to show them in the.
I went.
Cinema, but it didn't really come. It was going to come to the Tyneside Cinema in Newcastle. But
it came a few years back as well. I went to that one as well.
Oh, did you? Because I think maybe some were going to go, but it didn't go in the end, unfortunately.
You know the UK quad posters that you get in the cinema? I've got the 2012 one.
Have you?
Somebody got me, yeah, bless her. I would love the 1975 one, but you're looking at thousands now. So I was about 600 quid or £1,000.
Did you see?
So if anybody wants to get me one for Christmas, I'll have one.
We'll both have one. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the thing on the? There was a thing on YouTube when they said that the bloke who actually drew that, maybe give the artwork to somebody to say, "Oh, you can use this for your movie," but he never ever got the original.
He never got it back. He's looking for it now.
and they're trying to find it because it's somewhere, but nobody knows where it actually went.
Yeah, somebody's. I think somebody's got it, nicked it.
Ah,
Bloke who did it was a bloke. He's called Roger Castell.
yes.
I think he also did the Star Wars poster.
Hmm.
Very talented artist. He's
Yeah. That's when
mean,
posters. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
When you're looking on the camera, yeah, that for me is the greatest film poster ever as well. I'm not being biased because I couldn't stop looking at that before I'd even seen it.
Well, it is. And are we
Tatty.
the hall? Yes, I know. We've got in the hallway.
I'm very sad.
That's the first
Have
thing.
you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Big
Excellent.
big canvas. It's,
that was I'm going on side. That was a display in HMV. That's why it says 1970s on it and not Jaws.
all right, yeah.
Because they did like a series of re-release films from the 70s, and they had that. I went, can I have that? And they let me have it when they took it down. Then they did the 80s and the 90s, a few years back.
Mm-hmm. So which one was that from? Was that from the Merit Centre, or was it from?
That was Middlesbrough.
All right, yeah.
The lad who gave me that though doesn't work there anymore.
All right, so you had like a
I
pal.
was gutted because when the last Iron Maiden album come out last year, they got a massive cardboard cutout, and my daughter tried to get me it. They wouldn't let her have it.
Oh.
They've got to be sent back. They don't. Somebody else in the shop will got it.
Yeah, you're
They
right.
don't send them back. Lies.
Exactly. So the Movie Chair podcast, AP, says, "Hey gents, I hope you're both doing well." Yes, we're doing really good actually.
Thank you, sir. Hope you are too.
Great lad, AP. I've had him on a stream before, and I'm sure I'll be getting on a stream with him again soon. He's great. He's got a great knowledge. Very great kid to talk to. He is. Saying kid, he's a lad, but you know what I'm saying. Tom says, many years ago, I cleaned the window in a CID officer who confiscated movies, but always kept a couple back for himself. I caught him a couple of times watching them as I cleaned his windows. That's a great story, isn't it?
See, that would have really riled me. I'd have reported him.
The scoundrel, what he is.
Yeah, I can think of a better word. Why the hell can he watch them and we can't?
He should have stood outside his window with some pots in a kettle.
Yeah, and painted it black.
Cannibal Holocaust says, Tom, what did you have to clean off his windows? I wonder if he was asking where his ladders was. Diddy 7250 says, have you been to watch She Will yet? I don't. This is
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Where's my comments? Where's my comments?
The one that people are talking about at the minute is that Jordan Peele new one, isn't it? Nope.
Yeah. Nope. It looks all right actually. I've seen loads of trailers for it, so I don't know the movie, but I've seen a lot of them.
I'm a bit like that.
I'm thinking.
I absolutely love Get Out, but I thought Us was.
I liked Us. That was big.
The
4K looks nice on Us. One of the best ones I've seen, actually.
I've got it on Blu-ray. I did buy it without seeing it. And I don't know. Just something about it. So I thought it was going to be better.
Good twist, though. Do you think?
Kinda, but I just thought it was strange. Good ending.
Yeah, it was just a bit odd that whole thing could happen in the thing. You thought.
Clever fella, like, isn't he?
All right. I do like to think that I do think Nope will be worth a watch. I don't know about the cinema though, but I'll see how I'll go with that one. I might go if Deborah goes, which I don't think she will. Horror section. Hi John, my intro video is all complete now. My first proper video is going up tomorrow, hopefully. Yes, because he was talking to us about starting a channel. I says, well, just go for it. He's pressured it. He's not ever put anything up before, so he's gonna give him. So yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how that works out for you, because it's always.
If you send me the link, I'll watch it.
I can send you a link to the intro video.
To his channel.
Yeah, and then first proper video. Yeah, that'll be good. I'll be interested to see that one actually. Turn the Blu-rays, a bust up over a bust. Not too sure about that.
Oh, that was the Iron Maiden one.
The Iron Maiden one, yes.
Yeah, behind.
Yeah, so Right. So I'm gonna. I've got this. Where's my cough speech? So,
Where's me mental liptus?
I think it is. Well, it's them ones, isn't it?
Are they the extra strong?
Oh yeah, they are.
They're the only ones to get.
Yeah, they are real man sweets. So David Dean Filmbrook says, "Not gonna lie, I would have died to be in the cinema with you, Rockgod, on
chapter 2 with my daughter." Ah, Jesus Christ! You wouldn't. You really wouldn't. The way he's talked there as well, not gonna lie, she talks like that.
Oh, does she? So
she was embarrassing. I could have killed her.
Did she not have some decorum about her when she had a heart attack? Got to say, do you want to do it, tastefully?
No, she just seemed to get louder, to be honest. And we were right at the front. There was a bunch of lads behind us. I'm sure they were laughing. Shut up! You're going to get us thrown out.
It'd be good to get thrown out of the cinema because not many people get thrown out these days.
She's 32-year-old. We're not talking a kid here.
So David Ian Filmbrook says usually most people in the cinema just die already.
Yeah, when people say that in the cinema, I think that about them. I think, will you just shut up and let us watch it?
Yeah, I don't know. Nick Hornby said it was all fart, knee shite.
I disagree.
I don't know what that means though, in what it pertains to. So that was 7:43, and in a way, it feels like we're talking an hour to get through 30 minutes of comments. So I'm going to say at this point, we might not get through the comments here. There's
a slight possibility.
I do really hope that we can get through these comments. Let's hope that every time we come on. But the fact is that it's quite hard to do that. So what I will do is though, I'll go quicker at this point and see what we're going to do. See if we can get.
You said that earlier.
I know it didn't go any. It didn't. I had a toilet break.
It's not easy, is it though?
It's not. And plus, I'm not really. I'm not good at reading. I'm just looking for my specs before I go and find them. So that would speed us up because I'm kind of like imagining half what I'm saying.
These are my old ones. My new ones, I've lost them already. I haven't even had them like 2 or 3 months. I'm getting headaches. I'm sure it's these. I
think mine. I might have a look in there. Yeah, I think I might have a look for them because I'm starting to go a bit blind here. Naz says I'll keep stum about it. Chapter 1 and 2. The gay bash scene was taken from the book. Unfortunately, it wasn't treated properly like the book, as the death is inspired by a real murder of a young lad.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
No,
it was that long ago since I read the book, but I can't remember that bit. So it shocked me when I seen it.
Well,
I wasn't going to say what it was, but I just said like with the 2 gay lads, it was brutal. It was horrible.
He was telling me about it, and he said there was a few bits. Yeah, I do remember that now when he mentioned that. Tony Blue Iris says Graham Bright listened to Mary Whitehouse because he got to put his name on a bill that passed through Parliament, so it was for personal gain. You said that, didn't you, before?
That's him, Graham Bright, not Brighthouse. Graham Bright. That's him who said it also affected dogs.
Yes, we're talking about that one. So
idiot.
I know. It could have been right. It could have been. We don't know. We're not scientists.
The dog's chasing me around the house with a drill.
See that the dog there was starting to like work up a frenzy, wasn't it? It was trying to think about.
Do you want to stop the tape? The dog's hiding behind the cushion there.
So Dean says, forgot to mention, guys, there's a company in the States called Ebon Press, and they have bought out Zombie, The Beyond, and The House by the Cemetery on a very graphic comic. Said they're unbelievable. Yes, I do know them ones. I think I follow them on Instagram, actually. Have you ever seen them before?
So it's actually in comic form?
Yeah, comic forms, but they're like graphic novels. But they do them ones. Have you ever seen them before? Because they look really nice.
Not of a horror film, no. I know you get graphic novels of the superhero nonsense.
Yeah, I've seen them. I think I follow them on Instagram because I know I've seen them quite a few times actually. But that's if you're into that thing, you can see them graphic novels, which is quite a good thing to come out with some good old horror films. DVD and Film Broke said, yeah, 300 or so copies of Beast and Heat were made, and less than 100 have been accounted for. Plus, there are lots of bootlegs out there. I remember hearing someone saying that even when you get the Beast and Heat on a cassette, you got to be dead careful. It just might not be the real one.
There must have been loads of them were burnt.
Well, there must have been.
When you see like on some of the documentaries getting shot in, I think I've spotted the Beast and Heat being one of them.
Yeah, and there's a one where you see. But even when they first come out with the videos that you would want to see or try to get, the Beast and Heat was always the one that was the most expensive. Even on a bootleg, you couldn't get it.
Beast and Heat.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's. Have you seen it? Well, you've seen it. You've got it, haven't you?
It made me laugh.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. I love it.
Him in that cage.
Yeah.
There's a bit, you know, when he's got the hair in his mouth. I'm going, oh, I'm choking watching. Isn't he the same fella in Island of Death?
Yes, it's him. Yeah.
I thought it was him.
He's been in a few movies, but apparently was he not? I think he was just someone who used to sell flowers next to the studios, and they just walked past him and says, "Oh, hang on a minute, have you ever made a movie, mate?" He's like, "No, I just sell flowers." He said, "Well, get yourself in this movie." Imagine if he thought, "Oh, I'm going to be a superstar," and he turned up, and his first day was in the cage. He'd be standing there.
Imagine his face, right? Get in that cage, get your junk out, and chew on these piebs.
I bet he was thinking, I didn't sign up for this, mind. So Brian says, John wonder if there's any pre-cert horror VHS films that no longer exist on any format. That could be. There could be movies that are, because I know that these other movies that are like, they are sourced from the videotape. There's no copies of them at all apart from this really old videotape that they're taken off. I know that they are remastered in 4K, but they're kind of not. So there could be ones that are classed as missing, I would suppose. I wouldn't know what they would be. And here is, where's my slipcover? So Bogey Cat Productions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely. He's a big fan. He's a big fan of Iron Maiden and also Rammstein. He's seen them recently. Yeah, look at that.
Steve Harris.
Yeah.
Trooper. Oh, God, I can't operate this.
So you know your picture that you've got with Steve Harris?
What, sorry?
You know the picture you've got with Steve Harris? Tell us a little bit about that. You know the actual photograph you've got?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That one. So, or the one of me with him.
You with him. So what happened there? Well, obviously you met him, but...
Well, when Maiden are touring, he's got another band called British Lion, and a lot of Maiden fans just absolutely slaughter him. Some Maiden fans really get on my wick. Quite a lot do. They're horrible.
Yeah.
And it's like they'll diss Steve Harris's band, they'll diss Yannick Gers. Go away. So he was on tour with British Lion, and he played the Newcastle Riverside.
Oh, right.
So we went, and we were just, we're going to get something to eat in the pub down. There's a Wetherspoons, isn't there? Just past the Riverside.
Right.
It was heaving. It was, you couldn't even get into the garden, let alone the pub. So we're going to have to get home, or we'll get a McDonald's or something on the way home. So we're walking back to the queue, and we got to the Riverside, and I just happened to go, I was like, oh my God, there's Steve Harris stood there, like just at the doorway, on his own, just looking about. And I went to Laura, he's there, look. She went, go and ask him now. So as I walked towards him, there's the bodyguard. But he was all right. So I just said to him, can I just like have my photo, or can I just like meet Steve Harris there? So anyway, he said, can you, can he come and see you? And oh yeah. So I was shaking his hand, and I said, I've brought the bass. Can you sign my bass? And he said, yeah, no problem. Do you want me to do it now? Or he said, where is that? It's in the car. I said, well, I can do it now, or you can wait till after the show because I'm going to come and, he said, I come and meet the audience. Like, he does like a meet and greet anyway. I was like, I saw if you definitely do it, yeah. And at the time, like, Laura was in a wheelchair. So he got us straight in to jump the queue as well to see it afterwards. But before I walked away, I said, Doc, can I just get a quick photo took with you now? He went, yeah, of course you can. And that's what it was. Before we went to see him live with British Lion. Wow. And then we met him afterwards as well and got another photo took.
Oh, it's good that when he, especially like he's a hero, isn't he? So, you know.
He's my idol.
Yeah. And he's all right to talk to. It's nothing worse when you meet someone who's
such a lovely bloke, yeah.
Awful. So, yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Tony Barrier says, so have 88 got Severn scan of the house at the edge of the park?
I believe so.
Yeah, apparently they have.
Because they seem to be doing quite a bit in cahoots now.
Yeah, they're in the sort of bed partners, aren't they? They do seem.
Mardi Gras Massacre is another one. They've put it out over there and we're getting it on 88 over here.
Yeah, so I do think that, yep.
So I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
So that makes me think that sometimes when I see movies from them, I think, oh, maybe 88 would pick that over here. You know, like that makes me think that 88 will do a lot more in their Italian classics collection. And you've got the fact of, you never know, they might do it. I don't know how good their 4Ks are, 88, because I haven't put one out yet. So I don't know how, like Arrow's 4Ks are always exceptional. So maybe is 88, I mean, the Blu-rays are look amazing. So
yeah, they do.
I can't wait to see what they do with it. But then again, if Severn do the donkey work, then it's going to look good because Severn stuff is all.
Severn have done some of the Agatha ones as well.
Yeah, I know. So it's
so they've got to have something going together.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, I would say definitely. Tony Barrier says, I've got the code red of House on the Edge of the Park, but I'm jealous of the CD in the Severn release. Yeah, it's. I didn't know.
Got a little story about that actually. When the Code Red one come out, I found about it afterwards, and then I eventually found one on eBay. There was loads going for ridiculous money, and this one I think it was about 20 quid. So I thought, oh, having that. Mm-hmm. And when it turned up, I think it was from Mexico. It was a bootleg.
Oh, really?
It was a good copy, but I was like, nah, this isn't original. So I got a refund and I got to keep it. So I've got it somewhere, but the Code Red, I think, was just a bog standard case, and that even if I had the Code Red one, I'd double dip and get the Severn one because the Severn one's lovely.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Do you think Code Red? It's kind of like, the history of Code Red with a Bill.
No,
who runs it? Yeah, well, I think briefly, I think I'm right in saying this. It's owned by this fellow called Bill, and he produces all this stuff. I don't know how he gets this stuff made, but say he wants to put a movie out, and he'll do I don't think he does it, but he's the one in charge of all this stuff. And I think what he does is he's got it's very much like a cottage industry where he just sort of has like a bloke in a house, and he'll say, right, I'll make 1,000 of them if I know they're going to come up. And I'm sure, and I think this is right, that what's he called again? He was in this movie called, he's a film director, Jim Van Bebber.
Yes, he was something to do with the Manson family film.
Yes, that one, yeah. They had a big fallout because this Bill stiffed them with, I think he took the print of it and ran away with the print of this movie. That's why his movie, the Manson thing, which I've got, actually goes for stupid money because of that. Now, this Bill, he apparently he makes them when he can be bothered. I think this is what I'm getting. I think I'm right about this. So if he's bothered, he can make some stuff. He doesn't ship to anywhere, so that's why they're so hard to get. That's why they're so limited, because he's like being lazy. He doesn't actually make them because he can't be bothered, I think. And he's very protective of his rights to the movies. Once he gets a movie and he gets it, he doesn't let it go anywhere. So he wants big money for it. I think that's what it's all about. So I think you've got a kind of like an awkward customer who actually runs Code Red, I think. And that's why they're not my favourite company, because I do think that they aren't the easiest things to get a hold of, other Code Red stuff.
I think I've only got one, and it is a video nasty. Actually, it's on our list. It's called Nightmare Maker.
Oh yes, yeah.
But in America, it's called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Yeah. Yes, actually, that does look.
And
a good
again,
movie.
it's not as good as what I thought it was going to be. Didn't they do Christine at one point?
Christine.
John Carpenter's Christine.
I don't know. He never seems to make.
I'm sure I saw that going for
like
like ridiculous money before. I'm sure it was theirs.
Probably. If it's Code Red, Code Red's never cheap. I've got Blast Fighter. That's the only Code Red I've got. I used to have Nightmares of Damaged Brain from them. That was 50 quid. I had to pay 50 quid for the Blu-ray, and then it come out over here for literally. It's on 88, which is now out of print, so it goes for stupid money again. But I was fortunate to get it for 10 quid or something. Got rid of me. I sold me Code Red one because it's not that good. Well, it's not as good as me. I didn't get my money back, but I didn't want the two of them.
I didn't realise the 88 film one was so rare of Nightmares and Damaged Brain.
Yeah, I think it's gone out of print, and it's one that you can't get your hands on it. And if you can get it cheap, great. But I think it's one of the ones where people know what they've got. It doesn't.
I've had it ages. I think I got it in HMV. Like when
I got mine. Just walked and got it in the thing. I think it was in sales and everything for a bit, and then it's gone to the point where I think it's all to do with the rights. Maybe what's his name has got it back. This Bill, but I know he's because John Hall knows everything about this Bill, and he was telling me about this Bill. And he's a right character, but this Jim Van Bever can't stand this Bill.
Good old Bill.
And he's yeah. So there you go. There's a little bit of kind of inside information. I hope I'm right. Richard Sinclair says, joking with my mum the other day, she was complicit in renting out two Nasties for two 13-year-old kids. Absurd. And here's my question. Was the exterminator on any list? Have a good session.
No.
It wasn't, was it? I don't think it was.
No, it was believed to be, but it wasn't. But it did get withdrawn for a while, but it did come back out as an 18. If it was on any, it would have been on 3. I'm going to double check now because I've got it in front of me.
Because it was out by Indivision, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the window box Arrow one of the Exterminator.
Yeah. I know it's a good version. I'm sure that's going to come out in a better version, something out of a better version, but I'm sure
it's a great film, that. I love that film.
It's quite brutal as well, isn't it?
Second one's really good as well.
Yeah. Although there's rumoured to be this extended cut that no one can get their hands on, because the one we've got isn't fully cut, uncut, shall I say.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I think it's one of those ones that's rumoured there's like extra stuff, but we'll probably never ever see it. So the one we've got is the fullest cut, but it's not the fullest cut because the other stuff's missing. I believe that's what.
Oh, I'd like to see a full uncut one then.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean the 101 movie one is 101 films one is really good, isn't it? It's good print and all. It's a good movie as well. It's about as uncut as you would imagine it to be. Naz says 88 swear they put an uncut version forward to the BBFC. This will be House near the Park. Not a pre-cut transfer. It upset them. People kept questioning, so they decided they deleted the post on Facebook and haven't brought it up since. And there is no news. I see what you're saying there.
I don't know what film he's on, but it can't be House Edge of the Park because that's coming out.
Well, I think maybe I think it is because a lot of people did say that it must be cut. I mean, we've said it must be cut. So I think they've just took it down because it's getting grief over it. But I think they put a thing on to say, look, it's a proper uncut. They put like a form out to say this has been passed uncut because they do that sometimes. Maybe
it's not going to be uncut then.
Well, we'll wait and see. This is good. It's the sequel. Bambi Goes Crazy, Ape Bonkers
with his drill and sex. That's the young ones.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Aye. Did you do a video on Nasty Bambi?
Did you do a Disney Nasty?
Disney Nasty. So DVD and Film Block says, I heard those cheap public domain cartoon VHS tapes sometimes were taped over porn and can have porn once the cartoons are over. I'm not making this up. Yeah.
Wow. Imagine some poor kid seeing that.
Well, that's what would have happened, isn't it? Leave them in the room and you hear someone else and you think, hang on a minute.
It's a little bit immoral.
There you go. Did you make a Disney nasty? Adam Sykes says, hello Adam, you alright? Even guys, what is your most wanted video nasty that hasn't had a Blu-ray release yet and would like a release of it? Great comment, actually.
I think mine's probably...
I might take your list now.
I don't know why, but Missy Hugs and Kisses. I want to see what it's all about.
Yes, actually, because it's such one. It's one of the ones that's got a strange title. You think, what? That's a video nasty.
Mm.
It's probably going to have to be. Maybe it could be. I'll tell you what I would like to see. Love Camp 7. Just for some reason, I don't think I will. You got that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, but it's not cheap, mind, is it?
No.
Yeah, so that it would be something I would get, but I would have to get it cheap. It's because I know it's not a great film, so I couldn't. It would break me heart paying big bucks for it.
When you say not cheap, it's not like 60, 70 quid or out like that.
Yeah, but it's still around about 30, isn't it?
I think I got about 27, 28, something like, yeah.
I mean, for me, that's too much. I would say 20 quid tops for me on that one.
Someone's telling me it's Blue Underground.
I think it is, yeah. I think it is. And I do remember, did you say it wouldn't come out uncut here? You would never see it over here. I know someone said that.
I don't think you will.
Yeah.
I don't think I said it, but I don't think you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, so what we'll do is, because my voice is starting to go here, even when I've got my hose mental lip, this thing's there. So what we'll do is, if it's all right with you, Nige, yep. We'll stop till, can you do another 10 minutes?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 10:30, but yeah, I can keep going to wherever you want.
Right, because I know that my voice is going now, and my eyes are going now, so if you don't mind, we'll go through a few ones. So apologise at this point that we didn't get through all the comments, but what I will say, I'm so grateful for everybody who turned up and has given us some amazing comments. And the great thing is, it's all been about video nasties. We've got some good chat going, haven't we, with what the comments are giving us. Yeah. Can you hear us?
That now?
I'm saying, can you hear us? I was talking to you there.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were reading something. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm just listening to you.
Yeah, hey, we're doing.
If I can't hear, I'm going, I can't hear you.
I know. Well, we do know that we've had a lot of problems with audios between me. Then we couldn't really hear. But I think we're sorted out tonight, which is good. Because at the first one, you couldn't hear me at all when we're talking. You know, a couple of. It was just I was going. I thought you were going. Are you speaking? So yeah. Wow. So yeah, we'll go till 20 past 10. And then we'll call it. Okay. We'll get through as many of these as we can. And hopefully we can answer something as well. Oh yeah, I remember they used to hide films on tapes. My dog got Michael Caine film. In 5 minutes, it was Debbie Does Dallas. Aye, not a lot of people know that.
Michael Does Dallas.
Yeah, I personally think psychological films are more disturbing than video nasties, e.g. Pete and Tom and Frenzy. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, Frenzy.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen Frenzy once. As a lad I've got on Facebook, told me to watch it. And he said, yeah, he's the link, it's on Facebook, YouTube, sorry. So I watched it and I was like, ooh, that was a bit brutal for a Hitchcock.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It wasn't like his other stuff.
Brilliant film.
Yeah, it is good film.
Do you know what disturbed me the most?
What?
He goes into a room, you know what he's going to do, and the camera pans back. And you're actually thinking, that house there, somebody's getting killed in there right now, and the camera's just pulled away. And it really got me. Don't know what it was, but I was like, wow.
I know, and I think he does. Did he do one? I know he does it in other films, but you know, when somebody gets strangled, he does it for the full. It's like it takes 4 minutes to strangle somebody, and it was like.
And he will make it last.
Yeah, so it was 4 minutes, like actual in real time. So, and 4 minutes is a long time, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not like it seems like 4 hours. So yeah, I do agree with that one. Dean says, guys, was Black Christmas with John Saxon classed as a nasty?
No,
I don't think it was.
It's one of the greatest horror films ever made, though.
Eh?
I said it's one of the greatest horror films ever made, though.
I do like it. Yeah, I haven't seen it for a long time. I've got it as well.
Got the soundtrack to that.
Have you? This is all going to be good stuff for coming up with. Might have to do a soundtrack section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you never know.
Go back Christmas. It's in the soundtrack section.
What point of the soundtrack section? Yeah. And Turner Blue Eyes says, I don't think it was. A lot of the films disappeared for a while because of the pain of having to submit them to BBC for rating. Yes, I agree. Sometimes I just thought, what's the point? You know, like they just knew it was a bad time to put them out. Agreed. I mean, the murder scene.
Well, there you go. The murder scene in Frenzy is really disturbing.
So yeah, I agree with that one as well.
I Spit in Your Grave, original and the 3 sequels all uncut, was under a tenner. Wow, that's cheap for Blu-rays as well.
Yeah, Dutch. I never thought about the Dutch. You hardly think about it. You used to always go to the Dutch stuff, didn't you? But the Dutch.
I had 2 Dutch DVDs. When they were still bandy, I got The Burning and I got Last House on the Left. The picture wasn't great on them. No,
they weren't. You had your Burn subtitles on as well, didn't you?
You could take them off, but I mean, The Burning wasn't even in widescreen; it was just a square.
I was thinking the VHS, but yeah, I know. I always like to get the proper scope that it's supposed to be in now. Dean says thanks. Tom says, how many nasties out there can you pick up legally? What have you seen that is not?
Loads of them now.
Would you upgrade again to 4K from Blu-ray? If it was done right, I would upgrade to 4K. But it had to depend on the source of the movie. If the movie was like, say, Snuff on 4K, no point. Absolutely no point.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me to upgrade, it would have to be like a film I really, really liked.
It would have to be one that I knew would look good. You know,
The Burning, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Because The Burning on Arrow looks really nice, doesn't it? Much better than I thought it actually would have been.
Oh, so, and that we both got that one. You got that, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a nasty. So that was worth getting on 4K.
Yeah.
I love that film.
Yeah, it's good fun. So anyway, getting back to that then, Tom, we'll talk about that on future episodes. That'll be one of the things we are going to talk about. We'll go like, oh, such and such, this is out. Say we did this one. You can buy it on there, or you can't buy it, or check this version out, or the other version. This is cheap, that's not cheap. So we can do that in a future one.
And if it's not out in this country, I can probably tell you where to get it.
Yeah, definitely. And at the time of press, we could actually sort of point in the best direction for it, because you can't get ripped off of these things vastly. Does the Grindhouse Cannibal Holocaust Blue have the same great animated menu with John Morgan getting his head cut off? I missed those old DVD animated menus. It might do, you know.
I can't remember.
I think that might be the one with. Oh yes, actually, yeah. I'm thinking of Sitting of Them Dead when he gets the drill through his head. I can't remember actually, but I have seen that. You know.
Don't you see him lose his tackle in there on the menu?
I think he loses pretty much everything he's got, hasn't he? Apart from his bad haircut. You couldn't give him a haircut before because he's got that horrible. You know what I mean? He's got no hair now, like, has he? John Morgan,
he hasn't. He's in a few of the nasties him as well.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And he always gets like killed badly in every single one, doesn't he? Our section say, I love Eli Roth's reference to Cannibal Holocaust at the end of The Green Inferno. Now, I haven't seen The Green Inferno. Have you seen that one, Nige?
Yeah, I've got the Scream Factory one. It's brutal, but it's absolutely fantastic. It doesn't make you sick because there's no animal cruelty in it at all. But the gore and the violence in it, it's so well done. I think I don't know about Cannibal Holocaust because I can't remember the end of it. I've watched it for a while. But I know he did it like a sort of as his retelling of Cannibal Holocaust, but no animal. That's you'll love it. You need to see it. It's brutal.
I don't know. I think it may be a bit not too brutal, but it's going to be kind of not really where I wanted to. I think it was meant to be. Well, I think it was a bit over the top, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I might do that.
Have you seen Bone Tomahawk?
Yeah,
kind of a bit like that, violence-wise.
Because that gets a little bit sickening towards the end. It's really not expected to get that bad. I knew it was going to be bad.
It's bad, isn't it?
Like,
what a great film it is, though.
Yeah, it's a great film. It takes that long to get going, though, doesn't it? Bone Tomahawk's like 2 hours of talking, and then like 30 minutes.
It starts off like sort of a western, doesn't it?
It does. It doesn't go anywhere for ages, and then all of a sudden,
and then bang.
Yeah, when it starts, you've had it, haven't you? Turn the Blue Rider says Sage ran it with a guy who's the top editor. Didn't his editor sneak a few frames of the Beyond into Sam Raimi's Spider-Man film? The scene with the spider attack, of course. I didn't know that. If he did, that would be great. I would like to think that's true. But
so Sam Raimi's the first Spider-Man film.
I think so. Yes. He would.
Well, I've got that, so I'll have a look.
Yeah,
I'm not a superhero person at all, but I do have the Spider-Man ones.
So see if you can find the Beyond. That'd be great, actually.
I'll have a look.
I mean, there might have been exercised now, but this. So what we'll do is we've got a couple of minutes left, so we'll just have, like I say, I'm going to thank everybody, and I'm going to have to see if there's any that I can find without people sort of like just talking amongst themselves. I see if I can find, because I've done that. All right, and then it moves and it just goes blank. Have you watched Hobo with a Shotgun with Rutger Hauer?
No.
What would you think would have been the Nasty if it was released back in the day? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's great. Yes, I would have think it was a class as a Nasty because it was absolutely. It's got some mad stuff in it.
I'd like to see it then.
It's like an 80s throwback. The gore in it is unreal. The stuff that happens.
Wow.
So you definitely need to see it. Get it for next to now these days in CX. So, I think studios started using the 18 certificate before it came in proper. Certainly X18 on posters. I see. Yeah.
I think it was mainly at cinemas though.
Yeah, it was in the cinemas before becoming before that final bill.
Video slowly followed suit a bit, I think.
This one. I saw Suspiria with Goblin with Simonetti playing live.
Similar like what I did with Jaws.
Can you imagine that one though? That would be Disaster Area says, I bet it was a poster made for underground stations. They used sticker paper and very large. Actually, that must be the thing that I've got. It wasn't, but it was used. I'll tell you where it was. It could have been used. It might have been used for that actually, but it was got from the outside of the stadium. The arena was taken out of there. The big things they've got outside the arena, huge thing. It was taken out of there. It wasn't taken out of there. It was given out of there. But I don't agree in theft unless I receive the item. But so what we'll do is we'll call it quits now. I just want to thank everybody else to get to this. We'll leave it on this comment here. VHS Bootleggers. That's a great title. That might be a great channel actually. So this is the last one we'll answer tonight, but thanks for everybody coming, and we really do appreciate it. What is the sickest nasty of all, Nige?
For me, I would have to say Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, I think Cannibal Holocaust could upset the most amount of people across the board.
It's not even just I mean, for me, the animal deaths are the worst, but there's the violence. There's the SA again against women. There's some brutal scenes.
There is. It's
towards women.
It's just so bad, isn't it? It's not. You can say, but saying that though, I don't know if you agree. It is a well-made film, and it is a good film. I
personally think it's a great film, but like a lot of people said to me, it's crap. But no, if they just hadn't put the animal stuff in to begin with. Yeah,
it was just. I'm going to say fashionable, but it was like an Italian thing. They've done it in a lot of their movies. It wasn't a thing that they shied away from. Unfortunately, it's a thing that you could really have done without, and it would have been better if it hadn't had it in. I know
Definitely.
That. Yeah, but I would say that it's definitely, for me, the sickest Nasty of all. It can't be top. Cannibal Ferox is quite. See, at least Cannibal Holocaust was trying to say something. Cannibal Ferox was just a cash-in, so maybe it's sicker in a way because it wasn't anything you could say it was like I don't know, like there was no justification for
no particular reason for it. Yeah, it
was just an exploitation bit of nonsense, wasn't it?
It's just the animal deaths were more violent. Like, I don't know, there was just something about Cannibal Holocaust. It was awful, the animal bits.
But do you think the music as well doesn't help it, doesn't it? Because the music's quite weird,
no,
isn't
like I said to you earlier, that's why I think I like the soundtrack to Cannibal Ferox more, because it's more upbeat.
Yeah. So so we'll leave it there. So I just want to thank everybody once again, and what we'll do is we'll leave stuff on Instagram. On the end of this video, I'll be leaving a link down to Rockgod2004's channel, and you will obviously be getting your videos on there, won't you?
By the sounds of it, yeah.
Yes. So, and then what we'll do is we'll reconvene, and shifts permitting, we will get another one of these done as soon as possible. Now, the next one will definitely be focusing on section 1, and we're going to concentrate on that. And I would imagine we'll never get through. We've got a list here of the 39. We might have to concentrate maybe 10 at a time and just see how we'll go with that one. Would love to get into the comments, but maybe if you're in the comments at that point, we're talking about the first 10, or we're talking about a certain one. We'll try not to spend too long on them and probably go through a little bit. We'll try and move on to the next one, maybe. And but there's a lot of stuff that we're going to concentrate on. There's vinyl to come up. There can be ones that were classed as video nasties but weren't video nasties. Ones that everyone thought or weren't. Maybe we'll find out some more stuff to do with the gorgeous Mary Whitehouse and what she had to do with it. So, if you want a nightmare, we'll just do one for her. And
she's a beaut. Mrs. Brady, old lady.
Mrs. Brady, old lady. Yes, it is. It must have been on her.
Got to.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank Nige for coming along and sharing your expertise and your vinyl.
You're very welcome. I've enjoyed it.
And
thank you for having me.
No, it was always going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. It was just a question of when. But now we've got the first one in the can. Now we're going to move on, and we've had a great response. We've still got 39 people watching, which is amazing. Actually, I'm just so glad that this has been one that people are interested in, which I knew it would be anyway. But it's nice when you get the numbers to back it up. And,
it's amazing. We haven't half talked some crap, but they're still there.
I know. Yes, can you imagine it? Just watching two blokes waffling about things that were banned many years ago. And it seems like it would be if, say, somebody was like 20 years old, they might think we're making this all up, as if they say that this.
No,
really
absolutely not.
No, it happened, and we were there. So yes, so we'll bid you farewell, and just remember, it's only a live stream. It's only a live stream.
Nighty night.
Okay, so I'll see you in the green room, as we'll call it.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thanks, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again.